get you at home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes. On a Thursday, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. on a skunk-filled Thursday. Because Dave, I actually, what's funny is I don't even know what the story is.
Sprayed by a skunk.
All I know is that's all I know. Dave got sprayed by a skunk. I don't know why he got sprayed by a skunk, but it doesn't matter because it stinks in here. Oh, his dog was fighting with the skunk and lost clearly, and now this place smells. And all I'm waiting for, and I can't believe I'm doing this to start the show. But this really feels like an episode of Curb, okay? Curb Your Enthusiasm, where what's going to happen is it's the same thing if a bathroom smells, right? But you weren't part of the reason the bathroom smells. You leave the bathroom, right? And then somebody goes in right after you. Let's say you're at a restaurant, something like that. And I've actually told someone, hey, that wasn't me. Or if it's a nasty bathroom. He said, hey, man, that wasn't me. I went number one, and I got up out of there, right? That's what this feels like because Draper is going to come in here at 2 o'clock and say, Allen, what is wrong? What is going on with you? And I'm going to say, it wasn't me, and Draper may not believe me. It's the same thing like when somebody's in a parks poorly, so now you have to park poorly next to them, and then the car that was initially parked poorly leaves, and now you look like the jerk. That's what this is. Draper's going to come in and say, Stiles, whoa, like what's going on here? I'm going to say, it was not me, man. But it's bad in here. But we're going to power through, Kyle. We're power through.
I don't know. It's pretty fine over here.
Well, it's good for you. Yeah, you're in a different room.
Well, do we want to open a second air freshener in there? What are we doing?
Let's see how this thing goes. We're going to power through, and hopefully it just goes away it's not even, the smell is whatever. I just don't want Draper thinking that it's me. That's all this is, okay? That's all this is. So we are taking you up to 2 p.m. And not even Draper. This is actually the worst day for this to happen. Brendan Nunez is coming in for Roundtable. Chris Watkins is coming in for Roundtable. And I have to explain to them that I am not the reason for this stench.
That Allen just farted up the studio. And
now they'll believe me. They will believe me. I do not believe that Draper will take my side on this. But I'm going to try to explain to him, brother, this is not even from a human. This is not from a human, okay?
Well, the other thing, too, is, like, they've worked with Carmichael Dave for years. If you say, oh, this happened to Dave, they'll be like, yeah, that's definitely something that Dave would do.
Right.
Draper doesn't really see Dave ever, and also is just looking for a reason to make fun of you. So
yeah, this is I got anxiety already. Okay, so the only way to cure that anxiety is with some local sports talk, and that's what we got for you.
Segue strikes again.
That's what we got for you for the next 4 hours. Kyle, I actually have both. So I have my coffee, and I just brought I brought a yerba mate just in case I need the extra kick. I don't want to have to open it today. I want to save the yerb for Friday, for tomorrow, so we can fly through Friday. But I have it in case of emergency. That's my red button here, okay? And if those who follow me on social media, what happened was I was looking for something. I was looking for something on YouTube, and because I was looking for something, I sped up the speed. So I didn't remember that it was still sped up. So after I was done looking for what I was looking for, I went to our show to cut something, and it was still sped up 2x in Chipmunk. So I had to listen, and Baby Stiles thought it was hilarious. So I ended up posting saying, this is what the segment sounded like for those that listened to the Yerba Mate opening segment yesterday on the show. Kyle, I thought this earlier. A well-rounded Wednesday. And if you can tell, I don't know, is my energy a little different? So, Kyle, I told you we went to the Midtown Market. And if you know, that market, the Midtown Market, that place, that's an award-winning market, okay? It is an award-winning market. We went, like I said, got Senor Burger.
I'm just going to stop right there because I hadn't heard the full thing before, but just you going, and.
That market, the Midtown Market,
that.
That's what this was.
That place.
That's what this was yesterday.
That's also not even the funniest thing in there, but I kid you not, that first segment yesterday, if we go back and play it, you're literally talking at 1.2 speed. This is faster, obviously, than you were, but this is like 2.5 speed just because of how fast you were actually talking.
The Midtown Market, that place, that's an award-winning market, okay? It is an award-winning market. We went, like I said, got Senor Burger, all right, got my breakfast burger, don't tell my doctor, but it's just, you know what made me laugh? Because I will have little quick, I digress, right? Digressions, and they sound even funnier in Chipmunk 2X. The digressions sound even more ridiculous. We went to the Midtown Market, and did you know that market, the Midtown Market, that place, that's an award-winning market, okay? It is an award-winning market. We went, like I said, got Senor Burger, all right, got my breakfast burger, don't tell my doctor. But as I was leaving, Yerba Mate had a truck, and they were just giving away not just free Yerba Mates. If you sign up, all they need to do is sign up. They were giving you cases of Yerba Mate. Oh,
so good, so good.
Good stuff. All right.
So anyways, we've got that in the chamber today, just in case.
Yes, we have that in the chamber. We got the yerba mate in the chamber, just in case. But I don't think I'm going to need it because there is plenty to get to. Look, man, I'm sorry to Ted and El Dorado Hills. We're getting about 6 minutes in, all right? But the reason I am saying the words, the reason I'm saying Beetlejuice, the reason I'm saying JK, that name in the Bay, the 22-year-old wing, it's because we have a date. We have a date, okay? Jake Fisher for the Stein line, he says, Jonathan Kuminga, the date will happen, the decision will happen late September. So it's not an exact date, but we are going to officially put it on ice, I promise you, until there are actual updates. All right, that's Scout's honor. Actual updates. Baby Styles number 2 will probably be here. Not probably, will be here before we hear anything of note on Jonathan Kuminga. That is per Jake Fisher. He didn't mention Baby Styles, but per Jake Fisher, it will be late September. I could possibly be back from paternity leave. So we are officially putting it on ice. I feel like this is from The Wiz. Can you feel a brand new day? All right, for now, it is being put on ice. Scout's honor, it has to be an actual update. I put that on everything, okay? So that is why we're whipping out the Kuminga name in the first 5 minutes, because we have a date. And we can move forward, put it on the back burner, and we will talk at the end of September, unless for some reason something actually happens. But these updates on how we know where they stand. So Scout's honor, we're putting it on ice, okay? That goes for Ted and El Dorado Hills and everybody else that likes to joke about I see you on the chat right now on YouTube. It is on ice. It is on the back burner. Russell Westbrook isn't, though. Russell Westbrook, this is also from Jake Fisher. He dropped a banger of a segment on Bleacher Report yesterday. Russell Westbrook might actually be out of the league. We're just trying to figure out if that's by choice or not. People are still telling me he turned down places, and he is just waiting for the Kings. And Jake Fisher says if he don't play for the Kings, he's not playing in the NBA. What we still are trying to figure out is whether or not that's by choice. Kind of feel like that's by choice, but also we haven't heard about Russell Westbrook retiring. So kind of confused on that, but we have that sound for you. We will play. It would be crazy, though, if John Wall and Russell Westbrook retire within the same month. That would be crazy. And what I would say to all you guards out there, learn how to shoot. Learn how to shoot the basketball. Now, obviously, Russell Westbrook, Hall of Famer. So we're having some fun with who Russell Westbrook is now. But go out there and learn how to shoot. All right? It's great that you can pass. Great that you can slash. Work on that jump shot. Okay, kids? Work on that jump shot. We have an official game amount for Victor Robles, the dude who threw the bat at the pitcher. We have a game amount. We will discuss fair, foul, based on the amount of games that he has been assessed a penalty, and we'll talk about that in the 10 o'clock hour. RJ Barrett is officially on the trade block, so we're going to go through this process. A new decision maker comes in, and you immediately get put on the trade block. Does that remind you of anyone else in Sacramento? I can think of one, the pizza guy. So as RJ Barrett becomes available, and we know Scott Perry's connection to him, look, at this point, I don't think RJ Barrett is the type of player that they're looking for, but I don't know. Technically, what is he, a small forward? He's a shooting guard, small forward. Can he play the three? If you're moving off of Malik Monk, is RJ Barrett different enough? That's up to Scott Perry to decide, and BJ Armstrong in the front office. I don't know that off the top of my head, see enough differences. I would assume RJ Barrett, bigger guy, a little bit better defensively, but it would be interesting if that's where the Kings pivot. Scott Perry has that relationship, and RJ Barrett is officially on the trade block. A lot of dates just dropped. Brett Siegel, our friend of the show, Brett Siegel, Giannis date just dropped. All this stuff is happening. See, Kyle, I told you. Me and the missus, we planned it out. All right? So how things are going right now, we could get Kuminga news right when I return. We could get the Giannis news right when I return. And I'll tell you why. Because Brett Siegel is telling us Giannis is going to give some version of an update once Eurobasket is over. So I'll tell you what date that is when we get there on the show. Also, there are teams that I tend to fall in love with each and every year. And I told y'all the teams that have been banned. The Cardinals.
Arizona.
The Arizona Cardinals, yes. The Arizona I don't know how much I've thought about the St. Louis Cardinals in my life since the Giants beat them in the playoffs all those years ago.
Same here. I just know they're always going to be 80 wins.
They're going to be right there.
Yeah, sometimes sneak in the playoff.
And there's somebody out there wondering, is Pujols still on that team? Is Pujols still playing for the Cardinals? No, he's not.
But even if you're a more recent baseball fan, Goldschmidt's not there anymore either.
He's not there either. And all I know is that they're always around. But I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals, banned. Cowboys, after they made me look stupid the last 2 years, banned.
Not going to believe in them.
No. All right? I have to double check who I don't believe in. I know I have a list. Oh, the Cavs, banned. All right? Gonzaga, banned.
Never going to pick them again.
Ever. Now, I would never ban the Raiders. And Louis Riddick, who is still trying to get the GM job with the Raiders, is always saying good stuff about the Raiders, and they're making me believe. Louis Riddick gives the Raiders a better chance to make the playoffs than the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's making me believe. Now and speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals, now there are rumors that the Raiders might be in on Trey Hendrickson, who the Bengals are just refusing to pay. We're just refusing to pay this guy. Okay, getting after the quarterback is important, but nobody wants to pay these guys. Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson. People don't want to pay these guys. And apparently the Raiders might be a part of that conversation. And last but not least, the Niners kind of got a receiver. No disrespect to Sky Moore, but they got a guy.
As a Kansas City fan, I'm not sad to see him go.
The problem is normally we do the thing where, oh my goodness, you get a receiver like him in Kyle Shanahan's system and the sky's the limit. Probably the only team that negates that argument is the Kansas City Chiefs. If you can't cook with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, that's the one team where you cannot go anywhere else and have people actually believe in you. But we'll see. So Sky Moore, along with the other St. Brown and some other dudes, they are and Ricky Pearsall. Oh, we didn't even mention this yesterday in the midst of my yerba mate. My fellow 5'9", Jacob Cowing, he's now injured.
Also, Russell Gage has a sprained MCL.
And he's now injured. So, Sky Moore, come on down. And kind of the media members that carry a bit of water for the Niners, they're doing the thing. Well, you get Sky Moore with Kyle Shanahan, you never know. Brother, he was with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and by the way, they were going to cut him next week when the rosters were decided. So this essentially was the 49ers saying, hey, we can get him before the waivers go into effect. So I guess win-win for the 49ers. You got him for basic. You got Allen, you got a former second round pick for basically nothing.
Well, and the other thing is too, the Sky Moore timeline, they had moved on from Tyreek. They needed receivers. It's not as if where is he going to fit in because the Chiefs have too many receivers. Rashee Rice was done. They needed receivers,
No.
and Sky Moore, you still couldn't get on the field. So maybe he looks good for the Niners, but I cannot do the Kyle Shanahan thing, and he's gonna look better with the Kyle Shanahan offense because this brother just came from Cincinnati. It's the one team in the league that negates that. Literally the one team. Any other team, I would do the Kyle Shanahan, get him in that offense. Is there any other team, Kyle, that you would say, okay, well, he was with them, so I don't know what he's going to be with the Niners? There's no other team. If you can't succeed with Mahomes and Andy Reid, I cannot say, oh, he's going to cook with Kyle Shanahan and the Niners. I'm sorry, fellow Niners media members. We can't do this.
You're saying we
cannot do this.
The only play caller you know for sure is better than the 49ers is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Any other team, I'd give you a pass. I cannot give you a pass when he comes from Kansas City.
So I just wanted to jog my mind that first year when Sky Moore was a rookie and they were I think they won the Super Bowl that year.
A great name, by the way.
Sky Moore?
Yeah.
Just looking it up here. So their leading receivers on the season were Kelsey, Justin Watson at 460 yards, Valdez Scantling at 315, which, boy, Valdez Scantling sure was frustrating that year, but he caught the game winner in the AFC Championship game, so all is forgiven. Noah Gray, Sky Moore, and then I believe they added Juju Smith-Schuster at the very end of the season.
Mr. TikTok himself.
To win the Super Bowl. Yeah, that was a brutal season for the Kansas City Chiefs, but they won the Super Bowl. And just how insane that all is.
If there's a little personal feeling here, because I've been burned by Sky Moore in prop talk before. If you feel like you're sensing something, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
You know how bad Sky Moore was for the Kansas City Chiefs is that they went out and got that first Super Bowl season. They beat the Eagles. They went and got Kadarius Toney because Sky Moore couldn't return punts and couldn't catch screen passes. Like, they actively decided, we're going to go get the worst receiver in the history of the NFL, and he's going to contribute in the Super Bowl because Sky Moore can't do anything.
But we'll see. We could have a ton of, I'll just speak for myself. It's not even having egg on my face. I'm not even saying that he's not going to be good for the Niners. What I'm saying is we can't do that thing that we do. We can't do that thing and say, hey, he didn't work out here, but he's going to work out with the Niners because it's Kyle Shanahan. We can't do that because of where he left. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I'm saying I cannot say that now. Okay, so shout out Sky Moore, even though he cooked me multiple times in Proc Top. All right, well, we joke a lot about that one meme on Interstellar, and friend of the show, Jake Gaden, I felt like this meme. Okay, just saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. As Jake decided to tweet this last night, and he got a good amount of engagement and a good amount of hate. Okay, people saying, "Hey, I feel you," and people saying, "Hey, bleep you." I literally saw somebody say, "Just F bleep you." That's what I saw, and this is what Jake Gaden had to say. Of course, it's about the Athletics. The Athletics have won 16 out of their 24 games. Shea Langoliers leads the MLB. Kyle leads the MLB. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Kyle's looking for a sounder. That's why I'm not talking.
Yeah, I know. I have to go into the archive to find our mayor saying
the MLB. The MLB and
I don't want to care. All right, let me continue. Shea Langoliers leads the MLB in home runs since the All-Star break. The A's are really playing some great baseball, but yet I don't see the A's fan base on this app celebrating the team's recent success. Instead, they still post daily about how an opposing broadcast refers to the team as Oakland by mistake or how awful John Fisher is. To me, that speaks volumes. You would rather complain and be miserable than actually root for your franchise's success. make it make sense. So, Jake, that's a decision, okay? Because that Twitter world, look, we've talked about my Beam question. Okay, I said a question, all right? And it did not go well for me. Jake, I wouldn't say he was choosing violence, but another meme where they're all coming and he pulls out the sword, that's what Jake had prepared to do. And I'm sitting there like Interstellar saying, brother, don't do it. And he did it. And all I have to say on it, I'm really not going to get into the argument here. I feel like on this show we've kind of said, or I've said my piece on where I stand. Kyle said his piece on where he stands. We talk baseball when the A's are playing well, right? And we talk about the important notes, okay? And we have on Eric Martin, third base coach for the A's every Tuesday. Now, again, Jake is specifically talking about the app, and he's really talking about some specific accounts, okay? And I know who he's talking about because they perform pretty well on said app. Couple of things. You know my mantra on this show. Don't tell people how to fan. That's the number one thing, okay? Now, when I talk about media and how media does things, that's different. But fans, it's really tough when you tell somebody how to fan. Because essentially what Jake is saying is either be happy for them or leave them alone, right? The initial problem, and I'll be pretty, like I said, Jake is my boy. The initial problem is simply that it's just too soon for this tweet, right? I think at its core, if he sent this 2 years from now, and I promise I'm not still doing an Interstellar bit, if he sent this 2 years from now, I think it might be more understood or more recognized. Hey, he's right. You guys have been beating this drum, no pun intended, because the A's have the drummers. You guys have been beating this drum for 3 years now. They're in Sacramento. Just move on, right? But this thing is a fresh wound. It's not even starting to heal. You know when you get a cut, you put the Neosporin on, it's like day 2, and it's a pretty bad cut. It's like day 2 of that cut. It may be kind of starting to heal and come together. So I just think, number one, it's a little soon for that. And number two, to take it to the baseball realm, because that's where I always want to go when we have these conversations. The A's have won 16 out of their last 24 games. Do you want a cookie? I don't really care when teams do the spoiler thing. It actually just annoys the bleep out of me because it doesn't matter, right? Your games don't matter. You're done. You're not competing for anything. So, again, if this was done 2 years from now, if this was done in the heat of a playoff race, if they were doing this and they were fighting for the wild card, I'm there with you. But their season is cooked. So now that they're playing more relaxed, without a care in the world, with no expectations, now they want to win 16 out of 24, so they go on a good stretch. And you expect people to say, go A's? At least be a part of the wild card. At least do this for a sustainable amount of time. 16 out of 24. Jake, they haven't even caught up to their losing streak back a couple months ago.
They're still in last place.
So I think with all of that being said, the argument would be, hey, they're in the playoff race. Can we not talk about this right now because they're in the playoff race? Or can we not talk about this right now? It's been 2-3 years, right? Telling people how to fan is always going to be tough. But when it's the first year they're in Sacramento and they are still dog poop for the most part, that is not a battle I'm touching. But Jake, you're a stronger man than me. I wish you the best. You're just maybe a little early on it. Maybe. And I would say early from a time perspective and early because the A's are still in last place. Let's talk when they're a wild card. And if people are refusing, and I think the last thing, and I know I'm a bit over time, the last thing I'll say, and this kind of connects to the time piece of this, is that A's fans don't know what they're doing. And I can speak from experience because I didn't know what I was doing when the Raiders left. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to join Kyle and Chief Kingdom. I didn't know if I was going to bang Niner gang. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I talked to a lot of friends that I had from the Bay Area, asked them what they were going to do, right? And after a year or so, just kind of made a decision that I'm not as connected to the Raiders as I once was, but I'm going to root for them. They've been my team since I was an adolescent. So I made that decision for me, but it didn't happen overnight, right? It didn't happen overnight. So I just think it's a little early on this stuff. And Jake, I'm gonna pray for you because and if you haven't muted the tweet yet, you should do so. So I hear where you're coming from. It's just a little early for that. When we return, apparently we are getting that Jonathan Kuminga news after Baby Sal's number 2 arrives. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
And we're back live during a Flex Alert. Dialed in on the thermostat. Oh, we're pre-cooling before 4 p.m., folks.
And that's the end of the third. Time to set it back to 78 from 4 to 9 p.m. Clutch move by the home team. What's the game plan from here on out?
Laundry?
Not today.
Dishwasher?
Sidelined.
What a performance by Team California. The power truly is ours.
During a Flex Alert, pre-cool, power down, and let's beat the heat together.
This is Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports 1140, and the big deals are rolling in at Folsom Buick's GMC's end of summer sales event. Right now, take home the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali with $13,500 off MSRP, or lease it for just $699 a month for 24 months with $5,999 due at signing. This is your chance to drive the bold and powerful Sierra 1500 Crew Cab built to stand out on the road. When the summer ends, so do these deals. So don't miss out. Visit FolsomBuick.com today.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Get ready to jam at the ballpark on Saturday, September 6th. River Cats Baseball celebrates Grateful Dead Night at Sutter Health Park. A night of good vibes, great baseball, and even better company. Join us for a celebration filled with themed entertainment, classic Deadhead energy, and a live ball game under the lights. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just love a night of music and fun, this is one you don't want to miss. Come dressed in your favorite tie-dye, bring your crew, and soak up the scene as we honor one of the most iconic bands in music history. Secure your seats now for River Cats Grateful Dead Night at rivercats.com.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper for Bell Brothers, the No Surprise Guys. Right now is the perfect time to take advantage of their massive Labor Day savings. Up to $2,500 off select heating and cooling systems. Plus, they'll throw in a free 50-gallon water heater. These deals won't last long, so call Bell Brothers, the No Surprise Guys, or visit them at nosurpriseguys.com.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details. Bing Maloney Golf Course is 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney's a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
A's are playing right now. They're in Minnesota, another team that, I mean, they sold more than the A's did, at least this season. Carlos Correa, best Giant to not actually be a Giant, sold him back to the Astros.
Traded 10 players.
Yeah. So kind of the battle of the simulate to the end of the season. I saw that Bonte Hill, my guy from NBC Sports Bay Area, he had a great tweet on the Giants, who lost again, by the way, 8-1, 4 hits. They're a disgrace. They are an embarrassment. Okay. And I saw Willie Adames getting into it with Bob Melvin a little, or Willie was talking about something. We don't know what it actually was about. And Bob Melvin just stared at him. Just didn't even say anything. And I saw Bonte say, can we just, and again, I'm not a gamer, but I know you can do this. Can we just simulate to the end of the season? And I couldn't have put it better myself. I could not have put it better myself. Just hit the simulation button and just get this thing over with the Giants. And by the way, Landon Roop, their young pitcher, up and coming star pitcher. I mean, you want to know how bad it's going for the Giants. He gets hit by the ball, a comebacker on the thigh. Okay, no harm, no foul, somewhere on the leg, not the knee. But as he is essentially jumping to get out of the way, lands on his knee in a weird way. You see a wiggle, gets carted off the field. And we're on the lookout right now. He's headed back to San Francisco for MRIs. Just a complete freak accident. And Blade Tidwell, who they acquired in the Tyler Rogers deal from the Mets, who was going to be pulled up to fill one of those rotation spots, he had shoulder inflammation and is not going to pitch again for a while. Probably shut down for the season. So can we just simulate this thing, man? Can we just simulate to the end of the season for the Giants?
Ready for it to be over.
What a mess. What a complete disaster. So we'll see what happens with the A's. We'll keep you locked in there and locked on to what they are doing. All right, Kyle, as we mentioned, Abonte and the Bay Area, let's hear from Jake Fisher and what he had to say about Jonathan Kuminga. I haven't heard from Jake in a while, so he got a bunch of information out. So we have a couple of different cuts from you, and here he is talking about Kuminga.
We are not, to my latest understanding, expecting any real type of resolution for Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency. Not this month, and maybe deeper into September. The deadline for restricted free agency for all these guys is October 1st. And for now, it seems like Jonathan Kuminga and his unresolved dynamic is treading definitely into September. We'll see how close it gets to October 1st.
There it is. Okay. So, look, man, it's over for now. I'll tell you what's over. The talking about nothing, right? The talking about nothingness is over. We know the next time, unless somebody calls in and wants to talk about it, the next time we should be talking about Jonathan Kuminga is when a move has been made in some regard. That's where we're at.
Which, based on when you return, there's a chance you could be back first day.
Yeah.
And you get a resolution.
Literally. Which would be crazy because we'd be at media day.
Yeah, that would be kind of uncomfy if that happened. But
that's the awkwardness that I think the Warriors just typically don't do, right? We talked about a couple of the guys that were at media day last season for the Kings that didn't end up playing with the Kings, and we interviewed some of them, but those are fringe guys, man. It's a little bit different than this situation. They're not going to mess up a locker room. They're just trying to find a spot in the league. You can't have and I don't know when the Warriors Media Day is. I would assume they're all around the same time. Media Day is supposed to be one of the most hope-filled days of the season. I remember last season with DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox, and people still post it to this day. They'll say, man, when this picture was taken, we had no clue what was to come. When this picture was taken, we thought we were looking at a 5 or a 6 seed. We had no clue De'Aaron Fox would be in a different jersey. Mike Brown would be in New York. Monty McNair would be in L.A. Wes Wilcox would be in Utah. Luke Laux would be in Florida State. We had no clue. But Media Day is one of the most arguably the most hope-filled day of the season besides tip-off, right? Tip-off of the first game. Those 2 days, you cannot have this Kuminga thing going on at Media Day. That's a media nightmare.
Well, and the other part of it, too, for the Warriors side of things, because I think it's less of a nightmare for the Kings than it would be for the Warriors.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the Warriors.
But the Warriors side of it, you can't sign Al Horford, D'Anthony Belton, Gary Payton.
They can't be at Media Day.
Yeah, they can't even show up for media. Literally 5 players on your team will not be there at Media Day.
I got it. And again, Kyle, this is like you always like to joke. This is from the quick AI. So, and they do try to pull it from links, but according to this quickly, September 29th. So I think it might be the same day as the Kings.
Well, I know for sure that's the Kings Day.
Right. So it looks like that's going to be the Warriors Day too. They can't have, like you said, no Al Horford pictures, no Seth and Steph. You need those pictures of the brothers in the Warriors jerseys.
And they might sign Damian Lee just for S's and G's to like a training camp contract. But anyways, I think, though, that is the leverage play if you're Kuminga, because Kuminga is trying to get the Warriors to blink. Mm-hmm. Kuminga does not want to sign the qualifying offer because he would be giving up money, but he also wants to control his situation. So I think that is a great leverage play from Kuminga. We've talked about this for weeks. This is just Jake Fisher putting voice to the fact that, like, Kuminga recognizes this is his leverage, and him and his camp are going to play this out as long as they possibly can, because by playing it out as long as they possibly can,
I agree,
it pushes the Warriors to have to make a decision. Are we really about to do this? Are we really going to drag him back here on the qualifying offer? Because if he signs a long-term deal with the Warriors, then fine. They'll have worked it out. But they have to really sit with, are we really going to drag him back on the qualifying offer, tank his trade value, and as we mentioned, risk losing him for nothing? And I don't say all those things to say they won't do that. They absolutely might. But they have to really sit and ask with themselves, are we sure we want to go down this path?
There's no way. There's no way.
I think there is a way, or at least they want us to think that there is a way.
Yeah, and look, if there's one person that can fake it till he makes it, or I would say one person that can just manifest their own vibes, it is Steph Curry. He's the one guy that, even with the cloud over Jonathan Kuminga, Steph is just going to give that quirky smile that he has, and he's going to be – Steph laughs so hard at stuff. I'm like, bro, it ain't that fun. Whatever you're laughing at, it's not that funny, right? But if I was Steph Curry, I'd probably laugh that hard at stuff too, because – and what else are you going to do? By the way, nobody hit. We're at $700 million for the lottery, and I forgot to play it.
So, well, good. Then
Saturday.
That's called investing.
That's right. Now I'm getting more. Okay.
You've just invested, Allen.
That's right. So that's where we're at with Kuminga. And I'm making this promise to you, the listeners. It would have to be a heck of an. I'm telling you, I'm not milking this thing unless it's a actual update. That's on me. You have my word. And if I do go squirrely and straight from that, please call me out. Please call me out. Well, Victor Robles called out the pitcher with his bat. Okay, and he has finally found out his suspension. They are appealing it, of course. The question is, based on the amount of games, is it fair or foul? Don't move. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The 49ers play here. This Saturday, Niners and Chargers. Pre-game at 4. Catch all the game live on Sacktown Sports.
At 96.3 HD3.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Stockton Honda cranks up the savings with amazing deals during the Honda Summer Event happening now. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, you'll find unbeatable selection, serious savings, and top dollar for your trade. From quick crosstown drives to full-blown road trips. Wherever you're headed, Stockton Honda is ready to help you get there in style. Start your summer adventures at Stockton Honda or StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, Sacramento homeowners, imagine the coolest, most comfortable summer in 30 years, leaving air conditioning giants drowning in overstock. That's your golden ticket to massive savings right now at Sierra Pacific. We've forged powerhouse partnerships with the world's top manufacturers. They trust us for flawless installations, unbeatable service, and our massive reach across Sacramento to move their inventory fast. In return, exclusive, jaw-dropping discounts just for you. Upgrade your home with premium systems at rock-bottom prices, installed by the region's elite craftsmen, and backed by ironclad warranties and legendary support. Plus, snag huge tax credits and SMUD rebates to slash costs even further. This inventory clearing bonanza won't last. Seize it today. Call Sierra Pacific for your free in-home consultation and discover the perfect system for your ultimate comfort. Dial 916-638-0543 now or head to SierraPacificHome.com. Don't miss out. Your cooler, cozier home awaits.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated. Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
Sacramento basketball is back. With off-season acquisitions and a retooled Kings roster under new head coach Doug Christie, we're proud to cheer on the Beam team for another exciting season. Don't miss opening night at Golden One Center on Friday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Utah Jazz. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and all your Sacramento Kings. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seats now.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. One of the cool sidebar stories to the A's Hall of Fame induction ceremony before the A's play the Reds on September 13th will be the appearance of Reds manager Tito Francona. Francona was the A's bench coach back in 2003 when inductees Hudson, Mulder, and Zito led the A's to the postseason.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby.
Our next caller is
Stacy, how do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge.
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Labor Day savings explode at Elk Grove Chevy with $3,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 Trax in stock. $3,000 off Trax exclusively at Elk Grove Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
I forgot about this song, and I don't know if they played it at the River Cats or whatever it was, but this is another one-hit wonder. Jadena.
I've literally never heard of this person.
Have you heard this song?
No.
What?
Yeah, I've never heard this song before.
Wow. This was the hitter, man.
What, when you were in high school?
I don't know. It might have been early. It was definitely not high school. I don't think. Let me guess. This is a little celebrity birthday action. Do you have it yet, Kyle?
I believe so. Wow, they got Kendrick Lamar to do a remix.
But this before Kendrick was super popping, though. I'm going to say I'm going to guess 2011.
It was, well, I guess I should double check because, the AI is worthless on Google. It was released February 3rd, 2015.
Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, you should know this song then, Kyle. Wow.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, no. Sorry to me. Sorry to you.
Looks good. Made the Billboard Top 100.
Let's see here. No. I'm reading something here. All right. Somebody says, because bottom of the hour we'll get to these texts, but somebody says, and it's a long one, and I tell y'all sometimes when you send the long ones, they get broken up a little bit. So somebody says 530 says, FYI, you want to not call this Kings team the Bean team, but you guys have an ad to buy tickets for the Bean team. Just thought you should know. But thank you, 530. I am not on the honest. Like I said, I'm trying to figure it out. I need direction. I don't know if it's the Beam team or not.
Well, I also said this yesterday.
Kyle said we should leave that team to be the Beam team. I don't know if we're referring to the Kings as their a nickname for them is the Beam.
Well, my point yesterday is that we shouldn't do it, but
they're going to. You said they're going to do it for the marketing.
Yeah, you know who is advertising that? The Kings, because the Kings own the trademark. They're going to call it the Beam Team forever. It's just we have to, accustom ourselves to stop calling them the Beam Team. The Kings aren't going to stop because, brother, they are going to be just selling merch after merch after merch with Beam Team on it.
Just the way we started the show, fan how you want to fan. I'm not going to police it. Some fans out there don't want to call it the Beam Team. And I think it annoys them because when they hear Beam Team, it reminds them of a better time, right? So don't call them the Beam Team. I don't know if I'm going to call it the Beam Team or not. Sometimes it's just fun to say. But the Kings are going to continue to call them that because it's marketing.
Yeah, the Kings are going to do it. That's why you said yesterday maybe we need Dave to lead the charge, which you said you were going to bring up on Crosstalk today, but then Skunk happened.
Yeah, and then I could not breathe. I could not breathe.
It just all our thoughts went out the window when Skunk happened.
916 says, "Hey guys, love the show. Listen every day, but don't tell me I don't know what I'm doing. A's fan for life since the 70s. Funny how Raider fans still love the Raiders. They left Oakland not once but twice. Is it because it's football? Oh wait, it's a silver and black. It's a really neato logo, a pirate with an eye patch. ARG, and they actually spell out ARG. Nobody is talking bleep about that clown Mark Davis. And the bleep is a S bleep, by the way. That is Pat in Elk Grove. Well, let me not let me make sure I'm clear about this, Pat. I'm not saying that A's fans don't know what they're doing from the standpoint of they don't understand how this works or anything like that. I'm saying there are some A's fans still trying to process whether or not they still want to be A's fans. So somebody saying, hey, you need to either be happy that they're winning for 16 out of 24 games, even though they're in last place, or leave them alone and don't be upset that they're gone now. I'm saying there are fans still processing. You have maybe already made the decision, Pat, that you want to continue to be a fan. That's fine. Then you do know what you're doing. I'm not saying A's fans don't know what they're doing like they're asleep at the wheel. I'm saying there are a lot of A's fans out there still processing whether or not they want to continue being A's fans. So they don't know how to react to what they're seeing. And on top of reacting to what they're seeing, they're not even in that tough of a spot because the A's are in last place. This would be a much tougher spot for A's fans to try to process what's going on. And the A's are in a wild card race, but it's pretty easy to not pay attention to them right now or to, kind of put them on the back burner because they stink. So, Pat, if you've decided that you're going to continue to be an A's fan, that's all fine and good. Then I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to A's fans that a lot has happened to them, whether they're in the Bay, whether they're in Sacramento, right? And they're trying to figure out what they want to do with their fandom. I have a close buddy of mine, A's fan forever, right? A lot of us were Giants fans. He's the A's fan. Felt like he got burned. He's a Cubs fan now. Okay, cool. Yeah. Right? He's a Cubs fan now. That's his prerogative. Right now, he still will. As the season is going on, he's like, man, that Nick Kurtz is pretty good. And I'm not going to hold it against him because he's still processing. Who knows how he's going to feel? There's no rules to this. That's all I'm saying. So because there's no rules to it, I don't think that it's fair to say, hey, A's fans, either talk good about the A's who are in last place or leave them alone, essentially, right? We're in year one of this. Yeah. Get to year 2, 3, 4. Then I'm not going to say anything. But if you want to say something, I think it would be, yeah, we get it. You've been banging your drum, no pun intended, for 3-4 years. This is year one of them in Sacramento.
Yeah, and the wounds are still pretty fresh in terms of everything that happened. And just as a reference point, because I can give you the example of what it will look like 5 or so years from now. With the people I grew up with in San Diego, some people are still Chargers fans. Some people want to tell the Chargers to go bleep themselves. Some people just watch football for their fantasy teams and don't have a team. And then people like me found another team. Now I happen to pick the Chiefs, but other people pick the Saints. Some people pick the Packers. Some people pick the Rams. Everyone's going to process it differently. And it's going to be pretty split between the groups, right? Yeah. Everyone's going to process this grief differently. And the end result is going to be the A's are going to have a much smaller fan base than they previously had. I mean, we already know that. There's like 40 A's fans, and none of them can comment on the actual posts because everything is comments are turned off.
Right. That you also can't comment on it, which I think we had an over-under as to when would they unleash it when the A's get to Vegas. So I hear you, Pat. I'm not saying A's fans don't know what they're doing in a negative sense. I'm saying they are processing. Maybe that's a better way to put it. They're still trying to figure out what direction they want to go. A lot has happened within the last couple months here, and wanting them to just be on board or be extremely positive because they've won 16 of their last 24 when they're in last place. I mean, look, it's hard. There are teams who aren't moving and they don't have that type of drama. And they stink, and their fan base is not paying attention, right? They're not. And now you throw on the fact that all the drama that's happened with the A's, and it makes a good amount of sense to me. Like I said, let's let a couple years go by. Let's at least let 1 year go by, and let's see what happens when the A's are actually good. How that all will process. So Victor Robles, famous for chucking that bat at a Las Vegas Aviators pitcher, who they are the AAA team for the A's. Funny enough. He got 10 games, for that bat chuck, and then he did kind of approach the mound, got held back, and then he threw all the snacks from the dugout onto the field. Kyle, fair or foul, 10 games for the Victor Robles, a bat chuck.
I think they kind of had to. Maybe it'll get appealed down, but like you kind of had to suspend him because baseball.
You had to suspend him, but do you think 10 was too many games?
I was a little surprised when I saw 10, but
it's a bad chuck though.
I mean, look, I understand baseball doesn't want fighting anymore. They don't want people throwing bats or throwing helmets at each other. I get it. So I'm not gonna say, oh, was it too much or too little? They had to suspend him for a large amount of games because they can't have people throwing bats at pitchers. I'll say probably a little too high, but about right.
I think it's about right. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, maybe appeal it down to 8.
Yeah,
like it's.
What are you gonna do? You chuck the bat. We get it, but it could be assault. Okay, I think 10 is fair. I'm fine with it.
We'll take it. And look, Victor Robles. Sure, he's going to be fine with it once he gets back to the majors. It's, you know what? Take my side. He accepted that was going to happen.
I'll put you like this. I'm not promoting violence, but if you're Victor Robles, I think it's worth it for the amount of anger that he felt coming back from being injured on a rehab stint and then being injured again or possibly being injured again, being blinded with rage, and he took it out the way he wanted to take it out. That's 10 games. Sure. Not 20, right? So there you have it. 11 o'clock hour coming up next. We discuss how Russell Westbrook might be out of the league and whether or not that is going to be his choice. Don't move. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In 23 select models only.
This is your invitation to the Kohl's Friends and Family Sale, hand-delivered to your speakers. Get 20% off your favorite brands, including Yankee Candle, Cuisinart, Lee & Carter's. So when someone says, I love that candle, you can say, thanks, I got it at the Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. They personally invited me. Yep, consider yourself a VIP. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends August 24th. See store at Kohls.com for details.
This is Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports 1140, and the big deals are rolling in at Folsom Buick's GMC's end of summer sales event. Right now, take home the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali with $13,500 off MSRP, or lease it for just $699 a month for 24 months with $5,999 due at signing. This is your chance to drive the bold and powerful Sierra 1500 Crew Cab built to stand out on the road. When the summer ends, so do these deals. So don't miss out. Visit FolsomBuick.com today.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Go on a culinary adventure at one of Europe's biggest food events coming to the Americas, Terra Madre. Discover more flavors to savor, more ideas to chew on, more voices shaping the future of food. Join chefs Alice Waters, Sean Sherman, and Jeremiah Tower for tastings, pop-ups, food demos, and panels, all celebrating good, clean, and fair food for all. Terra Madre Americas, September 26th through 28th in Sacramento. Savor the journey. Visit TerraMadreUSA.com for more details. Terra Madre Americas is supported by Sacramento International Airport and brought to you by Slow Food and Visit Sacramento.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time now for your Sacktown Sports 49ers report, brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, conveniently located beside the Vacaville outlets. Jake Moody hit a walk-off game-winning 59-yard field goal on Saturday as the 49ers beat Las Vegas 22-19. Moody had 5 field goals on the afternoon. Brock Purdy played, and he was 5 of 7 for 66 yards in the opening series. 49ers played their final preseason game this Saturday. Listen right here at 5:30 p.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Here's a text for you. And I don't know where this, well, I guess I do know where the 209 stands. I'm just not really sure what to do with it. Who cares about the Raiders or the A's? They suck. Their fans suck. Their owners suck. You're just mad at everybody.
We don't like them.
Because at first I thought, okay, this sounds like an upset former A's Raiders fan. But if you are an upset A's Raiders fan, you would say, yeah, that the owners suck. You could say that. But I don't know why you would say that the fans suck. I don't know. So I don't know where the 209 stands. I just don't know why they're standing there.
You want to know their backstory? How did you get to this point?
Yeah.
How did you get to this place?
Yeah. I don't know.
What is your Joker origin story?
Right, please. I know. I don't know who hurt you. I think I know, but I'm not quite sure. The last thing on what Pat had to say about the Raiders piece of this, yeah, they're just like I said, they're just personal decisions. I think the Raiders, from where I'm standing and the conversations that I had, was that was a clearer understanding that the city, that it wasn't going to work based on what the city of Oakland, what they wanted and what the Raiders wanted. I guess the easiest way to say this, and I'm trying to be extremely careful, is that if you were to put both on a scale, right? The city of Oakland cared or tried harder. They really wanted to keep the A's. How much they wanted to keep the Raiders, it was more so up for debate, which is why, in general, it has felt the I guess venom towards Mark Davis and the Raiders has not been as poisonous, right, as it's been for the A's, because a lot of people feel like the city of Oakland tried their darndest in the A's conversations, and the Las Vegas Raiders conversation was closer, maybe not mutual, but closer to mutual. That's how I've always understood it, but depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, and the tough part about it with the Raiders, too, is like the Raiders have always been a team without a home, right? Mm-hmm. So there's Raiders fans in Los Angeles. There's Raiders fans in I'll say, the East Bay and Northern California. Allegedly, there's Raiders fans in Las Vegas. I don't know how many of them there are because they've never been good the entire time they've been in Vegas, but the Raiders are a weird situation because they've gone back and forth at different times, and based on your generation, you might be a Raider fan in different places. So I know Jay Johnson's talked about, like, the Raiders were in Los Angeles when he was a kid, so he never cared about the Raiders, and that's why he's a Niners fan, even though, he was an A's fan for so many years. So the Raiders' history is also just kind of weird in terms of fan bases and staying in cities and where their fans are located. But I'm sure there are plenty of people in Oakland and Northern California that don't root for the Raiders anymore, just the same as the A's.
Yeah. So just to kind of close the loop on that, but, look, I'm an open book with this stuff. And a lot of it, I'm not saying that it makes sense, right? It's just that's kind of what it is. It's weird. These are weird situations, okay? So as we move into what Russell Westbrook is going to do with the rest of his career, like I said, Jake Fisher dropped a bunch of information yesterday on Bleacher Report, also on the Stein line. And this is the quote that he had from Russell Westbrook. "We are still waiting to see what other moves could come in Sacramento before the Kings try to bring in Russell Westbrook." And that's been the one home all along that we really have looked at for Russell Westbrook. That is still the home I have heard earlier this week for Russell Westbrook, if he's going to be in the NBA at all, honestly. It sounds to me that this is a personal decision from Russell Westbrook. There's still no mention of retirement, though, so it's very confusing.
No, I disagree. I think this is he's got one offer situation. I don't think this is
Be careful. The Brookies are going to find you.
The good news about being the producer is that they're going to come after you.
That's also true.
But no, I read the Jake Fisher situation the complete opposite. It's that this brother's got one offer. No one else is interested in the Russell Westbrook experiment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's where that whole thing kind of falls. And look, man, I'll tell you this, bringing it back to the Giants in a way. And I don't think Russell Westbrook is a bad guy. I don't know Russell Westbrook. I think people seem to like him. It might be one of those situations where, hey, I like him, but I don't know how much I like working with him. But that type of stuff matters, man. And to make the joke about Bob Melvin and being a nice guy and how that's the one thing everybody will say, I don't know about his baseball decisions, but he's a nice guy.
Such a kind man.
He's a kind man.
I want nothing but happiness for him.
That's normally how it starts when a young lady is about to friend zone you. Allen, you're so nice. Kyle, you're so nice. If you hear that, it's cooked. It's cooked. You know that. So if the best thing people have to say about Bob Melvin is that he is a nice guy, it should be cooked. It should be done. So as far as Russell Westbrook is concerned, and with that being said, Bob Melvin is kind of hung around because people like him, right?
Well, he's also been a good manager in the past. I won't speak to his work with the Giants. I know at the end with the Padres, he and the general manager just hated each other.
With the A's. He was good with the A's.
He was good the first year with the Padres, and then him and the general manager hated each other.
But when people like you, hey, things work out for you. You get a bit of a longer leash. I don't have any type of reports on this besides what we've seen from Ramona Shelburne and the whole debacle out there in LA, and everybody wanted to blame it on the Lakers. And I don't think that was unfair at the time. But then this whole thing comes out from Ramona Shelburne during the playoffs. Aaron Gordon has to speak to it. Of course, Aaron Gordon says, hey, that's not how it really went down. We didn't really hear from anybody else besides Aaron Gordon, by the way, on that. And now Russell Westbrook is awaiting a possible move for Jonathan Kuminga to play in Sacramento and essentially back up Dennis Schroeder. If that doesn't tell you that things were a bit dry for Russell Westbrook, I don't know what will. And I'm not saying that it's because people don't like playing with Russell Westbrook. What I'm saying is, based on Russell Westbrook's skill set, even though he's a bit older, he should have more options than this.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he should have 10 teams, but he should have more than waiting for Jonathan Kuminga to possibly go to the Kings so he can back up Dennis Schroeder.
It's tough, though, because, like, the Clippers situation, for example, with Chris Paul, they made clear to Chris Paul, hey, there's going to be nights that you just aren't going to play. Mm-hmm. And Phoenix is another team that doesn't have a point guard, and Phoenix has essentially been, hey, we're content to go the Jalen Green and Ryan Dunn and just play one of our 8 shooting guards at point guard kind of situation. I think they do have a backup point guard who I'm forgetting right now. But for Westbrook, unless there's situations where he's going to be DNP'd on a contending team because he's their third point guard, I just don't see where else he's going to go at this stage. I think earlier in free agency it would have made more sense, but now if Milwaukee came around and was like, we actually do want Westbrook now, he's going to be behind Kevin Porter Jr. and Cole Anthony at this point on the depth chart? Because the problem with him is, as a role player, he just can't shoot.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be a role player in the NBA, you've talked about the 5-tool thing before of, like, you got to be able to defend, you got to be able to dribble straight and do all that stuff. Like, Westbrook's missing 2 of the big ones, which is ability to defend one-on-one and shoot at all. He's like the worst volume shooter in the NBA. So I understand why teams are hesitant to add him in, just based on what he's bringing to the table as a 10-minute per game point guard.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with Westbrook, and I think it's a combination, just like a lot of things in life. I think some of this is he thinks he's probably better than what small offers he has gotten. I think maybe he sees Sacramento as somewhere that, number one, is interested in him, and somewhere that he, in his mind, he probably feels like he can beat out Dennis Schroeder, or at least get closer to the amount of minutes that he wants. He probably feels like it's pretty even between the two of them. And, obviously the last piece of this is what you said, Kyle. The market, look, I'm not saying that he should have 10 teams. I'm saying he should have more teams than he has now, but the market for an older guard that plays his heart out, but can play you into games and play you out of games, and is not a consistent shooter, when this is the world that we're living in now, where you have to be able to shoot the basketball and make quick decisions. We just said, shout out to John Wall, right? Shout out to John Wall and the type of the skill set that he had. These guys, and we're having the same conversation about Ja Morant, right? If Ja doesn't, it seems everybody keeps saying Ja Morant feels like he's plateaued because the brother can't shoot, and I think Westbrook is way better than Ja Morant. Hasn't gotten close to Westbrook's ceiling. Westbrook was also playing during a different time, and it evolved during his career. So the price tag on guys like this and the market for guys like this, it ain't great. Then you throw in that he doesn't want to, and we don't know this, but then you throw in that he doesn't want to only play 10 minutes or be on the bench. And these are just assumptions based on, the Westbrook fans that are in my mentions and kind of what we know about Russell Westbrook. And maybe there was a conversation that he wanted to stay on the West Coast if he could. Maybe he just said, I'd rather stay on the West Coast than play on the East Coast. I'd rather retire than play on the East Coast. Maybe he said that. We just haven't been told this information.
Yeah, and that's kind of the tough thing, right? Because when, for example, Charlotte goes out and trades for Colin Sexton and pays him a lot of money too, right? Or signs Spencer Dinwiddie, who we talked about briefly yesterday being kind of that random vet signing for the Charlotte Hornets. Like, if Charlotte is going to go out and get 2 point guards, both of whom I'm not sure are as good as Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
What does that say about what they think about the role Russell Westbrook was going to occupy on that team and what they were actually looking for? Because I guess they decided Dinwiddie, who I'm pretty sure is not as good of a player as Russell Westbrook right now, they would rather have him be the veteran presence playing 10, 12 minutes a game than Russell Westbrook. If that's Charlotte, how many other teams that are actually contending are making the call? We just need a point guard to play 10 to 12 minutes and be a locker room guy, and we don't really want that to be Russell Westbrook. And it's not an indictment of Russell Westbrook. It's just what he's bringing to the table as not even like a role player, as like a spot player at this point, right? We need you in very specific spots. And to your point, I think why Sacramento works is, A, you get to come on home, right? Even though home is 500 miles away. But two, like you mentioned, that there is a path for him to actually get significant minutes via beating out Dennis Schroeder, or Dennis Schroeder getting injured, or some sort of situation where all of a sudden they're like, oh, now we actually do need Russell Westbrook to play significant minutes.
Yeah, and maybe he would rather just hang out. I don't think he's going to announce his retirement. I think he's just going to hang out, see if there's a Western Conference team. I guess the other part of it that he could be waiting on, honestly, is if Jonathan Kuminga, if it doesn't happen now, but it could still happen. And again, the fact that he needs all this stuff to happen to play is kind of telling you all you need to know, but the Kings are interested. And Jake Fisher said even earlier this week, but it kind of, the only way I see this is injury, right? And he's just kind of waiting around, and okay, something happens on the West Coast. Cool. And not to put this on anyone, but if it's the Nuggets, it just would be funny because you got to go back to Denver.
Yeah, Denver's not doing that.
And I don't think so either. But it's funny if it would be the obvious pick. Then you have Jonathan Kuminga. If he signs, if Joe Lacob says it's my money and I'm going to spend it how I want to spend it, give him the 3 years, right? Because it's all still a facade. 2 years and an option. He signs it. And now they're back in business with the Kings. Then the Kings trade for Jonathan Kuminga, and it's Malik Monk, and then they sign Russell Westbrook. That's the only thing which goes out the window if Kuminga takes the qualifying offer.
Yeah, I think what the Kings need to sign Kuminga is, to your point, an injury, which, hey, I'm not saying this is the best strategy, but if Westbrook only has one offer, maybe you just wait for Dennis Schroeder to get hurt before you decide to bring in Russell Westbrook. But two, they need Malik Monk to be traded for a forward. I'm not saying that it is Kuminga specifically. Kuminga is just the most likely player at this stage of the game from what we're reading, unless again, Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if Milwaukee at this stage of the game is like, okay, we're going to flip Kyle Kuzma for Malik Monk. I don't think they're planning to do that right now, but they need Malik Monk to get moved for a forward. I saw our guy Grant Afseth, not the fake one that texts into our show, but our guy Grant Afseth basically said as much in a story like, yes, the Kings are actively trying to move Malik Monk to add Russell Westbrook, and they have not been able to find a taker for Malik Monk yet. So I think the way Westbrook ends up on the team is one way, not Kuminga landing on the team, but just one way or another, Malik Monk gets moved for a forward.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Big Lucky G on the Sack Chat says Russell will be on the roster by opening day training camp with or without Kuminga. That's not what we've heard. I've wondered that, but that's not what we've heard. And that would be quite the media day. I'll tell you that much. That'd be quite the media day. But that is not what we've heard. And I think the reason that isn't what we've heard is because, to Kyle's point, there are no other offers. Or no other offers. Sorry, Westbrook fans. No other offers that he is interested in on either side. There are no other offers that he likes, and no other offers that have come in so far that has tickled his fancy. That's how I'll put it.
But I guess I don't understand, other than just the California thing, why Sacramento? Why would Russell Westbrook at this stage of his career want to play in Sacramento when he's not even guaranteed a starting role or a significant role?
So you're saying it's not a want, it's a here or nothing.
You mentioned yesterday that there are either teams that are contending or believe they can contend, teams that are tanking, and about like 5 teams in the middle, which is like Sacramento, the Bulls, Toronto, the Suns.
So you're just arguing, because the only thing I'm saying is it is believable that he said, I want to stay on the West Coast. I mean, that's believable to me.
Sure, but it's not like the Kings are contending for a championship or anything. It's not like the Kings are offering him a starting role.
You're just wondering why aren't you taking the shoes off? Why aren't you just retiring?
Well, no, it just leads me to believe this is your only option.
Yeah.
Which, again, we've outlined the situations before too, but like from Sacramento's standpoint, you get to sell a ton of jerseys.
Yeah, but I think if he cut off the East Coast, right? I think it is probably his only option.
But you're taking that from the Westbrook fans in your DMs. There's been no reporting that he's cut off the East Coast or cut off going to certain teams. That's just what the Westbrook people are saying.
I'm saying it's a believable thing. It's a believable thing if Westbrook were to say, I'd rather retire than play on the East Coast.
I don't know that.
We don't know.
We don't know that that's the situation. And
I'm not saying that we know that. I'm saying I could believe that.
Yeah, and Jake Fisher is making it sound like, look, it's Sacramento or nothing. But I don't.
Right. There's no ... because he turned down the Wizards or whoever.
My point is that if he's willing to come play for this Kings team as a 15 to 20 minute per game backup point guard, I don't think he's got any other option.
Right.
I think it's this or go to China, this or retire and go produce Bel Air. Like if this is the situation he's at, 15 minutes per game, backing up Dennis Schroeder, I find it hard to believe that if anyone were offering him any role, he wouldn't at least consider it on equal footing as this deal.
Right, or at least, I guess on some level to put some type of pressure on the Kings.
Exactly.
It's a little bit different than what's going on with Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton. They've clearly told teams, this is where we want to be. We want to be with the Warriors. We're not going to go anywhere else. But I guess there's a good argument, Kyle. We didn't hear, if you're going to say that about Russell Westbrook being the only option, we never heard that they're just sitting around. We never heard that DeAnthony Melton turned anybody down.
Well, but with Al Horford, don't you remember that brief moment when...
The Nuggets.
Yeah, exactly. When they thought Valanciunas was going to go overseas, they were like, it's Warriors, it's Nuggets, or it's retirement. So even they were trying to leverage the Nuggets situation.
Yeah.
Westbrook's not even doing that.
But we could stick with DeAnthony Melton. Don't you think that's weird? I know he's coming off of ACL, but he just sitting waiting.
I think he just wants to play for the Warriors.
Right. And why can't you believe that Russell Westbrook wants to play for the Kings?
What a great sentence you just said.
That's
why is it so hard to believe that future first ballot Hall of Famer Russell Westbrook wants to play 15 minutes per game on a Kings team expected to win 33 games?
It's a side quest. It's the last side quest to complete his journey.
Russell Westbrook wants it. I realized this the other day. Russell Westbrook has done literally everything possible in the NBA except win an NBA championship. I think if he had a chance to win an NBA championship, he would take it. That's why he ended up in Denver last year.
You know what? And this might kind of go against this argument. I do think there's something to be said about staying in the league. And to your point, Russell Westbrook might feel, whether it's his last option or not, we don't know, but he might feel, hey, I don't want to go to China and be on a different contract, something like that. If I can just stay on the Kings roster, knowing that there is a bit of a guard logjam, if there is a decision, it ain't going to be the Lakers and it ain't going to be the Nuggets, but if the Cavs right? Or maybe not the Celtics, but one of these teams that has a surprise season, they know Russell Westbrook is there, not playing as much as he would like to play. That's a lot different than he's playing with the big three with Ice Cube, or he's playing
and Lance Stevenson.
Or with Michael Beasley, or playing with Olympiacos. I do think it just is viewed a bit different.
But I guess if you're Russ, just wait until someone gets hurt then. Why rush into landing on Sacramento? It's tough.
On the other side, we keep the conversation going, and it's very clear we're getting RJ Barrett, aren't we? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing. Need a water heater or plumbing repair? Call Bell Brothers. Clogged drain? We'll clear it for $67. Plus a free camera inspection, a $250 value. We're fast, on time, and the price we quote is the price you pay. No surprises. Plus, we'll check your plumbing for free. Call Bell Brothers or book at thenosurpriseguys.com.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the luxe staples insiders swear by, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/styleupgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/styleupgrade.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
High Voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on September 6th as Uppercut Promotions presents 6 big fights featuring undefeated fighters. Thunder Showdown September 6th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets at Ticketmaster. Fight cards subject to change.
And we're back live during a Flex Alert. Dialed in on the thermostat. Oh, we're pre-cooling before 4 p.m., folks.
And that's the end of the third. Time to set it back to 78 from 4 to 9 p.m. Clutch move by the home team. What's the game plan from here on out?
Laundry?
Not today.
Dishwasher?
Sidelined.
What a performance by Team California. The power truly is ours.
During a Flex Alert, pre-cool, power down, and let's beat the heat together.
Sacramento River Cats baseball meets Grateful Dead vibes on Saturday, September 6th. Join the celebration at Sutter Health Park. It's Grateful Dead night with themed fun and good times all around. Get your tickets now at rivercats.com.
This is Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports 1140, and the big deals are rolling in at Folsom Buick's GMC's end of summer sales event. Right now, take home the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali with $13,500 off MSRP, or lease it for just $699 a month for 24 months with $5,999 due at signing. This is your chance to drive the bold and powerful Sierra 1500 Crew Cab built to stand out on the road. When the summer ends, so do these deals. So don't miss out. Visit FolsomBuick.com today.
Hey, Sacramento homeowners, imagine the coolest, most comfortable summer in 30 years, leaving air conditioning giants drowning in overstock. That's your golden ticket to massive savings right now at Sierra Pacific. We forged powerhouse partnerships with the world's top manufacturers. They trust us for flawless installations, unbeatable service, and our massive reach across Sacramento to move their inventory fast. In return, exclusive, jaw-dropping discounts just for you. Upgrade your home with premium systems at rock-bottom prices, installed by the region's elite craftsmen and backed by ironclad warranties and legendary support. Plus, snag huge tax credits and SMUD rebates to slash costs even further. This inventory clearing bonanza won't last. Seize it today. Call Sierra Pacific for your free in-home consultation and discover the perfect system for your ultimate comfort. Dial 916-638-0543 now or head to SierraPacificHome.com. Don't miss out. your cooler, cozier home awaits.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. And we will be joined by Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli.
We bring the boom.
Actually, no.
That's what we do.
No, we won't.
You sure?
Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins.
We bring the boom.
Oh, nope. So we're not bringing the boom.
No, somebody is, but it ain't going to be Frankie, all right? That's coming up at 12. 530 says Russell Westbrook is going to carry the Kings to the playoffs. Make the deal. That's from the 530. There would be a lot of excitement. You think that would be the number one sold jersey?
Probably
for the Kings.
Yeah, for next year. Yeah,
because I was trying to look this up, and I was I was doing it during the show, so it was a little bit harder. But I was trying to look up who sold the most jerseys last season for the Kings, and the reason I was looking it up was to try to. And it's a weird season, but I was thinking it would be DeRozan, and if it was DeRozan, either way, I think Russell Westbrook probably blows that out of the water. But, and is it the same thing? I guess it's a little bit different, but Jordan, the Last Dance teams, and I know Jordan was better than what a lot of people, how a lot of people kind of put it when he was on the Wizards, but Jordan Wizards jerseys, right? That last random team that a great player is on, do they just fly off the shelves? Obviously, Jordan is Jordan, but players like that, I'm trying to think of a more recent example.
So what was weird about, well, I guess the other one is like Dwayne Wade on the Bulls when he came back home to Chicago.
I'm sure those flew off the shelves.
Yeah, I'm sure there were tons of Dwayne Wade jerseys being sold. What was weird about last year's, I assumed DeRozan was the most sold jersey, but also when he went to 10, Sabonis went to 11. So it's like you bought a new Sabonis jersey because Sabonis had a new number kind of situation. But I still would say DeRozan probably was the most. I guess Fox probably was right up there too. But I would guess Westbrook next year is probably going to sell a lot of jerseys. And by the way, he's going to take Malik Monk's number potentially. Or Malik, or Malik will be on the team and Westbrook will have to pick a weird number that he's never been before.
It's just and that's what got us in trouble. That's what's got us in trouble about the Westbrook thing to begin with, because when you were saying this type of stuff, right? Russell Westbrook taking a different number to back up Dennis Schroeder in Sacramento, it doesn't have to end like this. Why have it end like this? Now, look, a wise man once told me, don't ever take, I know I've told this story before, but it was the last game of his career. And he said, Allen, I said, why are you just sitting here? The game's over. Allen, I'm just taking it all in before I finally take my cleats off. And I've always remembered that. And the moral of the story is don't stop playing until somebody essentially takes your cleats off or your basketball shoes off for you. And Russell Westbrook, I guess you know what? I guess it kind of has to end like this for Russell Westbrook. Yeah. He was never going to walk away.
Well, and we knew Russell Westbrook's game was going to age like milk too. Yeah. I mean, just hype.
I think it actually did better than what people thought.
Oh, dude, that Lakers season was brutal.
Yeah, but then he had the comeback.
And he got a coach fired. But besides the point, no. I mean, the Clippers one went better than I think people expected it would coming out of the Lakers, but I don't think we should skip past the fact that with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and a team that won the championship 2 years earlier, Russell Westbrook won 33 games. Like, that Lakers season was an absolute catastrophe. And then they were forced to bring him back for a second year because his contract was so awful until they could finally move him. Like, that Lakers run was about as bad as any, like, post. Like any player as great as him moving to another team late in their career, that's about as bad as it's ever gone.
Yeah.
But to your point, he kind of had a redemption with the Clippers and a little bit with the Nuggets, and maybe he'll have that in Sacramento. But yes, there was no way his career was going to age great at the end.
No. So, that's where this whole thing kind of sits. And as we eventually either Jonathan Kuminga is going to be on the team or not, let me ask you this: Russell Westbrook, Jonathan Kuminga, these names that we've thrown around as the conversation we're walking into is again from Jake Fisher, but RJ Barrett's representation is fully aware he will be discussed in trades moving forward. Of course, you have Scott Perry, who was with the Knicks when they drafted RJ Barrett. He was not the GM, but he was in those conversations, and there is a connection there. Do you think the Kings are just looking for one guy, or are they trying to completely rebuild this thing to some type of Frankenstein, RJ Barrett, Jonathan Kuminga? Are they just searching for one? What I'm asking is, and again, if you move Malik Monk for Kuminga, I don't know, because Malik Monk and Toronto, there was some interest there. I don't see how you get RJ Barrett and Jonathan Kuminga, but do you think it's a situation where they're just looking to upgrade one position and get a little bit younger? I think obviously at this point, Kuminga has more upside than RJ Barrett, and RJ Barrett's making $27 million a year. But if they get Jonathan Kuminga, would they still be in the conversation for other players like RJ Barrett, or are they just looking for kind of an upgrade somewhere to give them more of a direction?
I think pre-training camp, it's one or the other. I think they are either getting RJ Barrett or Kuminga. I also don't think they're going to trade for RJ Barrett right now because 6,000 guards.
Yes.
Probably not going to happen.
He's bigger, but yeah.
Yeah.
He can play a little three, but.
Oh, he can.
So can Nick Clifford.
If we get to the trade deadline, and let's say Toronto is not doing great, or at least RJ Barrett has fallen out of the rotation in Toronto, and they decided, hey, we'd rather go Grady Dick, or we just don't want RJ Barrett anymore, which they seem to not. If they decide then we've talked about DeRozan getting moved later because you don't have to pay as much of the money and you can buy him out, something like that. If Toronto says, we'll take half a season of DeRozan, sell a bunch of jerseys, sell tickets late in the season, Lord knows they are cheap because they just got rid of Masai Ujiri just to save money. If they just say, hey, we're just going to sell some tickets and sell some DeRozan jerseys the second half of this season because we're already out of it anyways, I think that's the best path to land RJ Barrett is by moving DeRozan. But other than that, I don't see them moving Barrett for Monk, and I guess it'd probably be like Dario Saric as a salary filler situation.
Yeah, the 916 saying Westbrook, Sabonis, DeRozan, Levine, and Schroeder sounds like a recipe for sustainable success to me. And if we have to go in this direction, I think they're being a little bit sarcastic here, but if we have to go in this direction, it is what it is. And I'm double checking here, Kyle. The 530 is saying if Monk and Kuminga are on the same squad and we sign Westbrook, Monk has 0, Kuminga will have 00, and Westbrook will have to pick a random number. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Is Kuminga 0 too?
No, but he's 00.
He is 00.
Yeah, Kuminga is 00. Which would be funny if we're just trying to trade for a bunch of zeros. I will also say Westbrook's been number 4 twice in his career, so he would probably pick number 4 unless. Do we already have a number 4 on the Kings?
Well,
I don't think so.
No, De'Aaron's 4 on the river.
The Riverwalks.
The Riverwalks. The San Antonio Riverwalks.
Yeah, so I think Westbrook would probably pick 4. He's already had to pick 4 because someone's number 0 on the Nuggets. I don't remember who.
916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Look, the news that continues to come out towards the end of September, man, oh man, We cannot wait. And apparently we're getting Giannis news after baby Sal's number 2 arrives. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
A retooled Kings roster under new head coach Doug Christie, we're proud to cheer on the Beam Team for another exciting season. Don't miss opening night at Golden One Center on Friday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Utah Jazz. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and all your Sacramento Kings. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seats now.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Make This the Summer Sales event?
Now is the time to enjoy all California has to offer, and what better way than a brand new 2025 Jeep Wrangler. And right now you can save up to $10,000 off MSRP. Don't miss your chance to save on one of America's best-selling SUVs.
What's this I hear about 50 vehicles under 20 grand?
Yes, at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, we have nearly 200 vehicles in stock, including Hemis, diesels, heavy duties, 4x4s, and 50 under $20,000. So whatever you're looking for, you can find it at Hoblet. We're a 5th-generation family dealer, and when you buy from Hoblet, you're treated like family because you become family. Don't miss our award-winning customer service and some of the best prices you will find on the truck of your dreams.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
10,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon X. After 5,000 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discounts. 3 this net savings. Sample VIN 622117. See dealer for details.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Top 100 teacher and PGA Master Professional Kelly Stenzel offers some short game rules in Golf Magazine. 1. Stay still while putting. 2. Lean into chips with weight slightly forward during the shot. 3. For less distance, use a shorter swing and narrower stance. 4. Hit the ground to get true launch. Make a divot to get the ball in the air. 5. To hit a great bunker shot, dig your feet into the sand. 6. Swing length controls natural speed. Swing and stroke should be relatively equal back and through in size and rhythm. 7. Pivot for pitches so the clubhead glides underneath the ball, launching it high with spin. 8. Write it down. Calibrate your short game and put it on paper. Having some basic guidelines and a plan for your short game can make a huge difference without having to always rely on feel. Look for the full story at golf.com. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Discover Terra Madre Americas, one of the world's most exciting food events, coming to Northern California for the first time this September 26th through 28th. Dig into good, clean, and fair food for all with chefs Alice Waters, Sean Sherman, and Jeremiah Tower. Hear music from The War on Drugs, Spoon, Big Head Todd and the Monsters, Jade Bird, and Passion Pit Solo Acoustic. Savor the journey of Terra Madre Americas, only in Sacramento. Details on TerraMadreUSA.com. Terra Madre Americas is supported by Sacramento International Airport and brought to you by Slow Food and Visit Sacramento.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000.
and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority tax relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority tax relief. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. All of them top quality, hand-selected by their general manager, Chuck Dean. You can see for yourself their huge selection at SacSuperstore.com with the lowest prices and the best car buying experiences anywhere. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Minutes, the round table with Chris Watkins and Brendan Nunez. This is from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points. And he is talking about Giannis, and when we'll get some Giannis news, here's the quote. That is why talking about Giannis, his future remains a major unknown this offseason and entering the 2025-2026 NBA season. All other 29 teams around the league continue to watch the situation brewing in Milwaukee as further clarity on Giannis's situation will present itself once he returns from Greece and the Euro basket tournament is overseas. So the first thing I did is look up when that Euro basket tournament is over, and the championship is Sunday, September 14th. So Giannis is, if I don't know how that works if they don't win if you know what I mean, that doesn't mean that they're going to be in the championship game, but whenever they get eliminated, it's probably going to be within, that weekend, right? The weekend of September 12th through the 14th. Then Giannis is going to go back to Milwaukee, right? So I don't know if that would be the very next week, starting September 15th, if that's when we would hear something back. I would assume within those next 2 weeks, either that week, you're still getting settled in, getting unpacked. I would probably target that September, because again, a lot of things have to happen. If Giannis, that's why I don't think Giannis is actually leaving, because he's going to get back from Eurobasket on Monday, assuming he's getting close to training camp. So I would think that he and a media day. So he gets back the week of September 15th. Then I guess at some point, is he going to meet with iShowSpeed again? Okay. Is he going to meet with the streamer? I don't know. But then that week, okay, hey, I'm actually not going back to Sacramento. So now you got to cook up a trade within those 2 weeks. If he says it on Monday, I just feel like he likes, I don't want to say the Aaron Rodgers-y, right? Those guys that, hey, I got an announcement to make. I'm not saying that Giannis is that, but kind of, because how realistic is it? He's going to get back. Let's say he announces on the 15th. They're going to cook up a trade for him, and Milwaukee's going to say goodbye to Giannis. Because the thing about the Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle trade, we don't know how long they had been working, right? The Milwaukee Bucks aren't working with anyone. They're just hoping that he says yes. Maybe they have some in the bottom drawer contingency plans. I would assume that they do. But if they're claiming, they're not talking to teams because they don't want it to come off as if they're willing to deal Giannis. That's what started with the De'Aaron Fox thing. So Monday he comes back and says, yeah, I'm actually out. I spoke with everybody at Eurobasket. I'm actually out. So you got about 2 weeks here, and I'm just looking at everybody's media day, right? September 29th. You got 2 weeks for the Bucks to pull off a trade with their franchise king of everything. I just don't see it happening.
No, it's not going to happen, because you know how we've talked about with the Jonathan Kuminga situation, how the Warriors, his leverage is to make it messy. And the Warriors just don't want the mess going into training camp. If you're the Bucks with Giannis, that is absolutely worth being messy going into training camp. Are you kidding me? You're going to rush a trade that's going to define the next 10 years of your franchise? No way. You're going to take your time, get as many teams bidding against each other as you can, drag this thing out in the middle of the season. If Giannis wants to make it ugly, he'll make it ugly kind of situation. There is no chance Giannis is going to ask out, and even if he does, there's no way Milwaukee's going to trade him before training camp.
Well, and that's what Brett Siegel basically said when he was on the show. What was that? Not last. Was that last Friday? I think it was last Friday. Where
Fridays are a regular for Siegel.
That's right. So the conversation was he could say I'm out, but it's not a 2-week thing. Right? He could come back before the season and say he wants out. And basically there would be certain teams like the Warriors or whoever that are saying, screw the beginning of this season. We're basically just trying to orchestrate this Giannis thing. There'd probably be about 3 to 5 teams that can realistically do it. Of course, everybody's interested in Giannis, but 3 to 5 teams that can realistically do it. And then the season starts for everyone. Media day would be really weird. Right. But they would all have media day. The season would start. And at some point before the trade deadline, they'd be working to get something done. I don't think they need 2 months to get this done, but there's no way it's going to get done before the season starts.
Yeah, but I think the Bucks will want to take their time on this thing because it's so important, right? These offers are not, it's not like the Warriors or the Spurs are going to be like, this is our offer, take it or leave it. Those offers are going to stay on the table.
Right.
There's no reason to rush that trade if you're Milwaukee. So Giannis is going to come back. And like other stars, Giannis is going to have to make it a little bit messy if he wants to push his way out of Milwaukee right now. I can't remember who said it before, but it's like these transactions don't happen in September. You usually request a trade in June so that teams know to plot for your departure. It seems at the very least Giannis is going to start the season on the Bucks. I don't know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. Last year Luka got traded for Anthony Davis, but I would imagine
that's true.
Giannis is going to be on the Bucks at least to start the season without a trade request.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Gary, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Gary? What you got for us?
Hey, guys. I think that Keegan, much like Barnes, is a natural 3, and both were forced to play out of position at the 4 spot because we just don't have a legitimate starting 4 on the roster, and we really haven't for years. And I think that's especially key with a center like Sabonis, who just doesn't have the physicality, leaping wise or height wise, to provide rim protection. So tell me, I just don't see how acquiring Kuminga is going to make us any better. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
No, it's a legit question, comment, concern, Gary, because look, people were saying if you're going to force Keegan to play the 4, and that's not really his natural position, maybe you should think about moving him. If you're not going to allow him to be who he actually is, I think that's who do you feel more comfortable with playing the 4, Keegan or Kuminga? That's been part of the issue in Golden State with Kuminga. His ability or whether he can play the 3 or the 4, because when Draymond is when they like Draymond playing the 5, they don't like Kuminga at the 4 because he doesn't space out the floor enough. And it's not that Draymond and Kuminga are similar, but it's a bit redundant. So they want him to try to play the 3, and that doesn't work. And then it's also a conversation of who he can guard. He can't really guard the Aaron Gordons of the world yet. Kuminga, if Kuminga was on the team and the Nuggets were coming to town, Keegan is guarding Aaron Gordon, not Jonathan Kuminga. So Gary, I think you're spot on with it. And we've heard multiple regimes now, the old regime and the current regime, just continue to say, yeah, we feel comfortable because Keegan can play anywhere. But that doesn't mean that he should just because he can. So I think you're spot on, Gary. But in that situation, if they go after Kuminga, I think it's Keegan. You're going to play 4 for us. That's it. Unless there's another move that they have cooked up down the line. But you're right, Gary. That's been a concern. It's a head scratcher. Westbrook, head scratcher. Kuminga has been a head scratcher for me, unless they think that Kuminga can turn into a 4, right? He's still only 22. He could get a little bigger. He does go, what does he go, 6'7", 6'8"? Could he eventually play that 4 position? I think it's possible, but right now, Keegan's got a little bit more to him. I think Keegan's better defensively, and I think Keegan would do a better job against opposing teams' 4s. But that's not – I'd like to see him at the 3 as well. Then there's a group of fans out there, just people in general that say, well, Keegan's just got to figure it out. He should be able to do whatever. He's the number 4 overall pick. You have to put these players in good positions to succeed. I think where they're at, Gary, is get the talent in the building and figure it out later. But we just watched that happen with DeMar DeRozan. They got the talent in the building, and they didn't figure it out later. They blew it up after 30 games. So I hear you, Gary. I guess maybe I didn't mean to drink the Kool-Aid, but I've just said, hey, if you have a chance to get a 22-year-old like Kuminga, you do it. But from a logistical standpoint, yeah, Keegan will still be playing the 4. But I guess we could say Keegan's playing the 4. At least he's no longer guarding Steph Curry and random stuff like that because of Keon. So he's more focused. I think that's where it lands. All right. Roundtable, great question. Roundtable on the other side, Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins down south, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. One of the cool sidebar stories to the A's Hall of Fame induction ceremony before the A's play the Reds on September 13th will be the appearance of Reds manager Tito Francona. Francona was the A's bench coach back in 2003 when inductees Hudson, Mulder, and Zito led the A's to the postseason.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge.
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Stockton Honda cranks up the savings with amazing deals during the Honda Summer Event happening now. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, you'll find unbeatable selection, serious savings, and top dollar for your trade. From quick crosstown drives to full-blown road trips. Wherever you're headed, Stockton Honda is ready to help you get there in style. Start your summer adventures at Stockton Honda or StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In 23 select models only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This is Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports 1140, and the big deals are rolling in at Folsom Buick's GMC's end of summer sales event. Right now, take home the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali with $13,500 off MSRP, or lease it for just $699 a month for 24 months with $5,999 due at signing. This is your chance to drive the bold and powerful Sierra 1500 Crew Cab built to stand out on the road. When the summer ends, so do these deals. So don't miss out. Visit FolsomBuick.com today.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Roundtable. Brendan Nunez. Chris Watkins. Oh, wait, neither of you said anything.
What are you talking about? Hi.
Hello?
No, not that.
Oh.
The smell.
Oh, I noticed it. I honestly kind of thought it was my deodorant, to be honest, but
well, it's not.
It is Wizard.
I have a horrible
the
sense
magic
of smell.
fresh.
Now I kind of
okay. Well,
see what you're
that's
talking
good.
Yeah.
Dave got sprayed by a skunk this morning.
Oh, he got sprayed by a skunk.
Him and his dog,
Okay,
I guess.
that's what I heard, yeah.
And then, this
He
place.
came into work.
Oh.
Yeah, it reeked.
Oh.
So since you guys didn't say anything,
Dave doesn't
what
come to
Frankie's
work.
text
Yeah, I know.
was.
I was super confused by that too. So Dave comes to work maybe like 4 times a month, and the one time he decided, like I shouldn't work remote today.
right?
Is the day he got sprayed by a skunk.
Because it's about Dave, and he gets to tell a story.
Right,
That's what it is.
Poor Jason also, by the way, just sat
Yeah.
here with the stank all day.
Apparently his son also got sprayed and they sent him home from school.
Okay, what did they?
Now I really smell it.
Was
too.
this a family out? What were they walking
I think they were just
the
walking
dog?
the dog in the morning. Just a guy, his
Just
son and his dog.
Just like 5 minutes before he had to leave to work.
Yeah.
No
Right.
time, didn't change the clothes.
5:15 a.m.?
Yeah.
Well,
Apparently
I've never
3:30.
I've never gotten sprayed by a
3:30.
skunk. Yeah, I've never gotten sprayed by a skunk, but I'm wondering, you shower and it doesn't work, or did Dave not shower?
You're supposed to take a bath in tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce, but like you can put like if your dog gets sprayed, my dog's got sprayed a couple times. You put arm and hand, what's that stuff called? Help me out here.
Detergent, baking.
Yeah, like baking soda.
Yeah.
Thank you, baking soda, and in that whole.
Okay, so Dave
thing.
could smell, unless he does the tomato thing, he could smell tomorrow as well.
It lingers. I mean, because it's an
go
oil.
away?
It's not really like it gets into your skin.
There was a skunk running around Sutter Health Park in the back, and I saw that thing, and I'm like, dude, I don't get down. I do not. I'm not playing no games.
No, thank you. They are not fun. And
You got sprayed?
No, but my parents have a very big backyard,
Yeah.
so they kind of get a ton of little critters, and so growing up, used to have a ton of my dogs used to get sprayed by skunks once or twice a year.
Brendan, you got sprayed?
No, I'm not.
I personally never got sprayed.
Okay.
I had like family and dogs that have been.
Yeah.
For sure. Animals specifically.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's not. It's definitely not a great.
It's not good. They come back and you're just like, oh, you've been doing some things.
Yeah.
It does not smell like skunk at all in here.
Okay, well that's
It
a good
usually
thing.
lingers.
That's a good thing, and hopefully
It smells a little bit.
Okay,
Really? I didn't know.
Just a little. It might be this side of the table.
I have not left since we started the show. So
Can I give a plug also while we're completely off topic? Jason Ross and I have spent all week at Sac State. We just dropped the first episode of the Stingers Up podcast for the season.
Okay.
Jason interviewed, I think there's 15 coaches over there at Sac
Wow.
State. They are like their staff is incredible. And yeah, first episode just dropped on our YouTube channel. First year, Jason's doing video. So I helped him out with that. And first episode's about an hour. Second one should be about an hour as well, coming out next week. Next week, we'll have Coach Brendan Marion on as well. So definitely check that out. I know Sac State's obviously got a lot of hype around them right now. A lot of people interested in what's going on. And Jason does about as good as you can. I think we got 8 coaches in the defensive episode. You can go check that out over on the Sacktown Sports YouTube channel.
You've been busy with that this week.
Very busy, yeah. We spent 3 days there, and we had to get 15 coaches, and those guys meet they have meetings about their meet. We had to get there a very specific time frame. Even then, sporadic, and we ended up locking them all down with the exception of Coach Marion. We're getting him tomorrow, but. Yeah, it's really, really awesome stuff. Good job by Jason.
Great stuff. Be sure to check that out. Okay, Sacktown Sports.
That's all out the way now.
Sacktown Sports YouTube, of course. The Sacramento State Hornets, they kick off the season with South Dakota State.
Tough one. Very, very tough one.
South Dakota State.
Yeah, they're one of the powers. Yeah,
they get down.
Yeah, North Dakota's obviously the Carson Wentz school.
Right, that's
South
right.
Dakota
And
has kind of become the power now.
North Dakota. That's the team where we're going to take a quarterback.
Trey Lance, right?
Yeah, we're going to take a quarterback from you every 5 years, and they will disappear. But we're going to continue to do it.
I've been playing college football recently, and this makes me think of I'm trying to lead Delaware to a national championship, and I just found out Joe Flacco was on that team, and I can't beat this man's records.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
No
crazy. Joe Flacco on Delaware, though?
Yeah,
did he go somewhere else? He got drafted from Delaware?
First round pick.
Yeah, the Hens, right?
The Blue Hens.
The Blue Hens, yeah.
The Blue Hens.
Played them in college. Beautiful campus. People love that campus.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But you up there. You somewhere.
I mean, you're in Delaware.
You are up there. You know what I mean?
You don't hear anything about Delaware. You'll hear a stray Rhode Island story here and there. I've never met anyone from Delaware.
And I'm going to just be honest. All of them. Right,
all of them,
all
those people,
because that's I think that's where Atlantic 10. So we'd go on up there, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware. It's all the same to me.
They might as well just DMV it, where it's just like this is just the area,
New
right?
Hampshire. You all up there, man. That's what it is. But shout out the Blue Hens. And shout out Sac State doing their thing. Well, speaking of skunks, we hope that the stench of the play-in is off of the Sacramento Kings.
Senior segue strikes again.
I was not paying attention. That was a good one. That was a 3.5.
Senior segue. I was paying attention. Again. It's not that good.
That was a 3.5.
That was a 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
And guys, let's start here as we get back on track. We have texts coming in. They want to hear from both of you.
Sure.
But I wanted to start with this. How do you think earlier this week we were discussing, wait, hold on a second. How much playing time is Malik Monk going to get? And I was trying to figure out, former 6-man runner-up should have been 6 man of the year. Is this guy going to even get to 25 minutes a night? Let's say they do go into the season as is. And I'm talking about Keon Ellis as well. All these 2 guards. How do you see the 2-guard situation, Chris? How do you see the 2-guard situation playing out for the Kings if there are no moves made?
It's not really something I've thought about, to be honest. So I'm kind of doing the exercise in real time, but I think it's kind of a hodgepodge, right? Like I think they don't really have a true point guard. Like Dennis Schroeder's obviously there. You can throw Devin Carter into that mix, but I think there's worlds where on different teams, Zach LaVine's a 2. I think DeMar DeRozan at points in his career have been a 2. Malik is, as we've kind of found out, more of a 2-guard than a point guard. Again, Devin, more of a 2-guard than a point guard. Keon, it just feels like anybody can kind of play there. And so to me, it's just a little bit tough to try and, especially now, figure out how those minutes are going to be distributed. But I think the greater point is that there's so many options that you're probably going to be surprised whether it's Keon or whether it's Malik. Somebody's going to be the odd man out in their missing minutes. And, I guess with Doug's defensive mindset and the fact that those other guys, LaVine and DeRozan, feel like have to play, it's not crazy to assume that Keon might get the nod in most lineups just to kind of be that glue guy, where Malik is a little bit of his own universe when he's on the floor.
I still think Malik's playmaking is really valuable for this team. They don't have a backup point guard still. I think the best option is probably Malik Monk. And I think that's why he makes sense in your second unit. Obviously, he gets to be a little bit more score first, just because he's the the point guard out there, the one that maybe bringing the ball up the floor. I still think you can have other initiators, obviously Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis out there helping him run that second unit. But I still think Malik is getting close to maybe even over. Last year, he was at 31.5 minutes a night. I think that we're probably around 28 to 30, right? Where I still think that he is functioning as that backup guard, a backup initiator on the perimeter for sure. I think that he fits. He's probably still in night to night case, I guess, for closing lineups, whether you need offense, defense going Malik or Keon. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much different than what we saw last year. The 24.5 for Keon sounds about the right range to me, specifically beginning of the year. When it comes to Malik, I think you'll see close to that 30 mark. And then maybe a guy like if Devin Carter breaks in a little bit, then maybe that takes away from, obviously the minutes got to come from somewhere. Maybe that starts to take away from Malik Monk. If they shop him again at the deadline, maybe that lowers as they near that point. You know, if Devin or if Nick Clifford emerge as a guy that can play that role a little bit more, then maybe those eat into Malik's minutes to start the year, or towards the year as the year goes on. But I think to start the year, you're probably going to see, I would guess, similar total minutes for Malik and Keon as to what we saw last year.
So basically, the way you're putting it, Brendan, is, we're just seeing, hey, well, they added Nick Clifford and Devin Carter's healthy, but it's not going to be everyone gets a touch. It's going to be Malik is going to, and Doug Christie, obviously being the coach, he's used to having Malik out there. It's Keon, it's Malik. Those are our first two guards off the bench. If something changes and if Nick Clifford forces his way into the lineup, then cool. But right now, I guess the one name that we completely ignored, and it's because I said two guard, is Dennis Schroeder.
Right.
Yeah. So there's really only one. If Malik, I think the difference is we've spent so much time talking about how Malik isn't a point guard. They get Dennis Schroeder. Now they still need Russell Westbrook. Malik was coming in for De'Aaron. Is Malik going? If Malik is not subbing in for Dennis Schroeder, that's where we were kind of wondering where this thing gets squeezed.
Yeah, and So real quick, I just am not sure that. I feel like with Scott Perry, obviously Doug's the holdover, but I feel like we've seen obviously over this offseason, I don't know if Malik is necessarily the one that, and I think front office influence does kind of matter, especially in stuff like that. Like, I don't know if Malik is in the future plans for the Kings like that. And I wonder if, again, Doug is the more defensive minded guy. If maybe it was just like you said, they needed a point guard. Malik was someone who could fill that role. I just don't know if that's necessarily going to be an automatic nod to him this year. Like, I just feel like maybe there has been a shift in mentality. Maybe like Brendan said, it might be a beginning of the year, middle of the year kind of transition, but I don't know if I see Malik getting 30 minutes. To me feels like out of necessity. Like I know you said 28, but like I just feel like his role, I just feel like I see it diminishing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Neek is like already in the rotation, and maybe Neek isn't somebody that's competing with Malik. It feels a little bit tough to identify some of these positions because sometimes Malik is almost functioning as like the 2-3 in the lineup, and it feels like Neek could do that a little bit as well, even though they don't sound like they'd necessarily be competing for minutes there. But to the Dennis essentially replacing De'Aaron point, I just highlight that De'Aaron played 37 minutes last year. And Dennis is not doing that. You know what I mean? So like you don't have as many just total minutes being taken up from that starting position, then you're going to rely on the starters a little bit more or the bench a little bit more, obviously.
And that's why it all goes back to, this thing. I think it's kind of swayed too far as you talking to people beginning of the beginning of the offseason, you think Malik can't dribble a basketball. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
he's so in between though.
Too. People,
and
act like Devin Carter dribbles off his feet.
I might be one of those people, to be fair, on Devin Carter, but
Malik feels super in between positions.
But I'm just confirming that there will be lineups. I think that's what we were discussing. The fact that they're going after Russell Westbrook, how comfortable do they feel with Malik Monk and Keon Ellis being your two guards? That's what I don't know.
Like sharing the floor at the same time, or that being your depth that you have at that position?
Yeah, I'm just saying, again, if they're saying they need to go get Russell Westbrook, okay, do you not feel like you have who is their backup point guard?
Right. Yeah, which right now it's probably Malik, like you said, out of necessity. And the interest in Russ probably does speak to, and how much they were like, we need a point guard this offseason. Malik himself
said
that he feels most comfortable at the 2.
But I will say, him saying it, he probably heard and this is all me just having some fun. He probably heard what was said and thought, okay, I mean, like, I know I said I'm not a point guard, but y'all doing a little too much.
Yeah. I mean, are we also sure that Devin Carter's not the backup point guard?
No, he could be.
I just don't, like, if he's going to be on the team, like, is he just going to sit on the bench?
You think Devin Carter's better point guard than Malik?
I did not say better. I just said it might be the backup point. Like, I
think they both could be out there, and it's just like a committee thing.
100, and like that's really important too, is that we talk about this stuff sometimes like it's like a football depth chart. Like it has to be this guy comes out.
The point guard doesn't mean you're a Kyrie out there ISOing people, you know?
Yeah, I more just mean like you play with, like, there will be a lineup with starters and one bench player.
Right.
You know, like it's 3 starters, 2 bench. It's not hockey subs. Exactly. Like it can be very, very fluid. Malik can be the backup point guard. Devin Carter can play 12 minutes a game, and all of those minutes are a backup. I'm more just saying.
But that's where I'm at.
That's where I think I was more on your side, where I think it is going to be just, again, so many people are going to either someone's going to be the odd man out and completely getting no minutes, or there is, to your point, going to be a very strange, I guess, distribution of minutes, because again, Keon's going to play, Malik is going to play. Devin Carter either isn't going to play at all or is going to eat into their 2 minutes, because Zach LaVine is going to be on the floor for 30 plus minutes. DeRozan's going to be on the floor for close to 30 minutes, I would assume. Keegan 30 plus minutes, Sabonis 30 plus minutes. Like
it's not out there.
It might not be. Or
Schroeder, what do we
might
think?
not be.
What was Schroeder at?
I didn't even throw Schroeder in there. Right. I think Schroeder's going to be probably 28 to 32 minutes. Right.
I'm checking my wallet.
Probably closer to the higher end.
I'm looking for some. I don't got no minutes for you.
Well, so what? There's 7 guys that I feel like we probably feel comfortable saying are going to play every single night, right?
Yes, I would say so. Yeah.
The starters plus
Keon and
Malik,
and some backup center.
Yeah, and like that. Yeah,
doesn't matter who. Just
they're going to play more than 7 every night. Like Neat Clifford will probably break into that.
He's probably going to start.
And then Drew Eubanks is probably going to play 12 minutes a night.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But then between all that, you don't really have forward depth.
Isaac
Dario,
Jones,
right? Yeah, maybe you're going Isaac, you're going Dario. You might be Doug McDermott. I don't even.
Not Max
probably not where we're going.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think that maybe like Devin Carter might play like the 3 sometimes, you know, or you might.
Zach LaVine, right? Would play the 3.
DeMar might play the 4.
Right.
You know, we've talked about DeMar being like the backup 4 almost in a way if you sub him out early.
Well, that's a really bad idea.
I mean, I just you don't have many options.
Yeah.
And so I think that some of the answer here is that you're going to have some small lineups and all these guys are going to be playing together.
Yeah, and that to me is when we're talking about Russell Westbrook this and Russell Westbrook that. That to me is just kind of speaks to why are we talking about Russell Westbrook? It just feels like you have bigger issues to handle.
Yeah, we probably should be talking about a back. I don't know about Precious Achua or what was it, Chris Boucher?
Either one.
Yeah,
either one. Yeah. You don't think Precious can play? He's what is he? What did we say?
He might be able to. I loved Precious coming out of college, to be honest.
25.
He's older than
that. I don't love him as like your permanent backup, but he's a good like 3rd center.
This guy, Basketball Reference, Precious Achua.
He's 25.
I don't know. He feels very like Bruno.
He turns 26 next month.
Feels very Bruno Caboclo to me.
We're talking about Drew Eubanks.
Yeah, I would probably rather have Precious Achua, or I mean, it's one for like it's. I like Precious Achua more than Drew Eubanks, but like both of those guys realistically should be your 3rd center.
Yeah. Well, you're a Dylan Cardwell guy.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, Precious is just
not already.
Precious is just the best case scenario for Cardwell's career.
That's fair. I mean, yeah.
By the way, I got to be honest. We were talking earlier about if Westbrook were to join, and we were having some fun with the zeros and
number zeros.
Yes, the number zeros, what jerseys they would wear. And Kyle said something. Sometimes. Peel the curtain back. Sometimes I'm working on something. I'm looking up something as Kyle's talking. Kyle, they're on us because you mentioned the number 4, And
yikes.
Obviously, because Westbrook wore 4 before, but obviously that number.
Yeah, I'm not saying Westbrook is going to wear 4. I'm saying he's worn
a
4.
different number
Yes,
before.
he has worn
Just
number
to
4.
make it clear, we're the flagship. Somebody like, what are you guys talking about? We just got to make it clear.
Because couldn't remember if anyone was wearing 4 for the Kings.
That's right. And I said not right now, and I had my computer open. But look, for the listeners out there, we know it ain't gonna be 4.
Right.
You know, it might be 000, but it ain't gonna. We're gonna have all the zeros and all the 2 guards you could ever imagine.
Monk 0, Kuminga 00, Westbrook 000.
There you go.
Wow.
Can you guys possibly name the last 4 players to wear number 0? You could probably do 3
for the Kings.
For the Kings, like straight 0, not double
just
0. Thomas Robinson.
No. Well, yeah, that's further than the last 4. There's a
really?
current one.
4?
There's a current one. He
Malik.
just said it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Malik.
Yeah, sure.
The Corey Joseph.
One prior was only here for 1 year.
One was
And then he went to
one
the
obvious one.
Warriors.
Tyrese.
Tyrese is the one prior, but there's one in between Tyrese and Malik.
Went to the Warriors.
This was my guy, Chris.
Oh, White Dante.
We used to, Dante.
Oh, Dante.
Dante.
Yeah.
White Dante.
And then Trevor Ariza for 1 year prior to that.
Yes, that was a good year. Yeah.
From
Trevor
2020,
Ariza really-
they've had 4 different guys wear number
really
0.
got people excited. Trevor Ariza did.
He did.
Yeah, vet leadership. Vet leadership.
Elite free agent class.
And we know Nick Clifford's got 5.
Dwayne Dedmon was my guy.
Dwayne Dedmon. Yeah.
Nick Clifford will be the best Kings player to wear.
Stop it. Stop.
What number does he have?
Up,
He has 5.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon's gonna walk
That
out
took
of
me
here.
a sec. That took me a sec.
Kings fan Dan on the chat says,
The Malachi Richardson
why
disrespect.
are you
23.
guys hating on Maxime Reynaud?
We
And
did.
I'm going to kick this
I
off
believe we
here
once.
because it's been tough, a bit of tough sledding. And I made the joke about Dylan Cardwell because there are certain Kings fans that, and they have no choice, right? This is where we're at, but they kind of hyper fixate on the Isaiah Crawfords. He's going to save us.
Brother. Come on.
Isaac Jones is going to save us. Somebody is going to save us.
Should've been here for the Scalabizzier, brother. Scalabizzier was
Shout out
the one,
Scal. He
honestly.
got signed. What did the
Harry
Wizards?
Giles, Wizards.
Yeah. So look, the numbers are the numbers.
God, the Wizards are down bad.
Yeah. The numbers are the numbers, my friends. I hope that it does work out. But we already have found money with Keon Ellis. Okay. We can't.
You're on this.
We just can't keep assuming that all these guys are going to be hits. We're talking about Keon Ellis. That was a hit. We're talking about a late first-round pick in Nick Clifford. So he's going to hit. Maxime Reynaud is going to hit in the second round, which I hope he does.
Isaac Jones kind of hit.
We're talking about Isaac Jones, who he hit because the Kings are a 35 win. It's a hit.
He was working in a factory 4 years ago.
Come on now,
That's a life hit. That's a life hit. This isn't a team hit. We're talking about Dylan Cardwell. Oh, defensively, we got to be more realistic here.
Hey,
and I think what you guys are doing, you're just protecting us from our, and me specifically, because I'm the Maxime Reynaud guy, from having too high of expectations. He is a second round guy. I know he was slated to go in the first, but he's a second round guy.
What did we say that was bad to Matt? I think all that we said was he wasn't in rotation day
he wasn't
one.
gonna be in a rotation.
That's all we said.
Oh, when I
don't
said
think
who's
that's-
going to be the 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
And
crazy
you
to
said-
take
you
as an
said
insult.
Maxime.
I
You said
love
not
Max.
Maxime.
It's not going to be Max.
That's
I can
not an
already
insult.
tell, though. I have like a G League guy that I, for some reason, like fall for every year. I can already tell that it's going to be Max. You know, it could be Daquan
Wow,
Cloud. I'm not
that's
going to lie.
disrespect. He's calling him a G leaguer now.
Well,
that's
okay,
disrespect.
let's be real.
ladies and
This guy's
gentlemen.
going to
That's
spend
crazy.
time in Stockton, right?
Yes,
Talk to
he
his
is.
coach when we were in Vegas,
And
and
it's gonna be light
he
work.
said he's more Lauri Markkanen than Luke Cornett.
Yeah, it
Lauri
was a great
Markkanen was
interview.
a lottery pick,
Yes.
and he was really bad early in his career.
Cleveland
Really
gave
bad.
him away
Correct,
in the
correct.
Davion Mitchell trade.
Yes.
Yeah, he was not good early in his career, and Max is a guy that it's kind of a long shot for him to be anything like Lauri Markkanen, to be honest. So
But
if
he could
we're
be
going,
better than Dario.
hey, year one, I don't know. To be honest,
Dario hasn't played since the Stanford was in the
and
Pac-12.
Max has never played. I'm just saying,
Hey,
like Max,
man.
I think Max will get a chance at some point in the year because Drew Eubanks is the backup center. I think Drew Eubanks is probably better than Precious Achiuwa for this team because you know what you're getting consistently at very least. You only need him to fill the 12 minutes, right? There's going to be some nights where he doesn't cut it or some nights where you're getting your butt kicked or vice versa, and you're going to throw Max out there for a little bit. And if he impresses, then he'll stay there. But this is also a big man that was the leading scorer in college.
Yeah.
He's not going to be the leading scorer on any of these teams, and he's got to become a good defender. There's just a long process for him becoming good.
They didn't want him in foul trouble.
They didn't want him in foul trouble.
So
he wasn't allowed
So
to
he's
play
gonna have to play
defense.
He wasn't allowed to block.
So he's going to have to, be allowed to play defense for a little bit.
When we return, let's keep the conversation going. Chris is going to go in the way back mobile. If the Kings had one transaction redo from the last 10 years, what would you want them to do? We also have some updates. How are the guys feeling about, I'll say it, Jonathan Kuminga? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Everybody knows that Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the spot to get yourself a brand new car. That's why people are coming from all over. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. But they also have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles. All makes and models, every one of them top quality, hand-selected by General Manager Chuck Dean. Over 70 vehicles below $30,000, over 25 below $20,000. You can see that full lineup at SacSuperstore.com. And if you find a lower price somewhere else, they'll match it. And on top of that, the best car buying experience anywhere. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Get ready to jam at the ballpark. On Saturday, September 6th, River Cats Baseball celebrates Grateful Dead Night at Sutter Health Park. A night of good vibes, great baseball, and even better company. Join us for a celebration filled with themed entertainment, classic Deadhead energy, and a live ball game under the lights. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just love a night of music and fun, this is one you don't want to miss. Come dressed in your favorite tie-dye, bring your crew, and soak up the scene as we honor one of the most iconic bands in music history. Secure your seats now for River Cats Grateful Dead Night at rivercats.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Bob's had the same car, Betty, since high school, and that was a while ago. Bob's dealt with wipers, slow starts, and a few warning lights. And every time, Bob went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped with free services and the right parts to keep Bob and Betty on the road. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Labor Day savings are on at Elk Grove Chevy with $10,500 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 5.3 liter after all rebate. And Elk Grove Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,500 off new Silverado exclusively at the Elk Grove Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MegaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Excludes work parking, ZR2, Met Trade, 2011 Chevy car, truck not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal at Meda.
Bing Maloney Golf Course is 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney's a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Roundtable is in the building. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, still no Frankie Cardicelli. And he is he's avoiding us.
That's what we do.
At this point, he is avoiding us. UPS Chris said he was about to say Greg Ostertag, but that was 00.
Double.
Okay. Not to be confused with 0. All right, guys. A couple texts we want to read through here. This is from the 925. Shout out to 925. Hi, Alan. Is there any possibility of bringing DeMar off the bench to get buckets with Monk and start someone like Lyles, Reyno, Kuminga at the 4? If DeRozan comes off the bench, it solves a lot of the rotation problems until he can be traded. He might not be happy about it, but it's the coach's decision, and he'd probably add a 6th man of the year to his resume. Now, that last note is interesting about 6th man of the year, but a lot of those things, 925, I think would fix itself, because I don't see a world where the Kings get Jonathan Kuminga and keep DeMar. There's also the conversation, as we just talked about, Maxime Reyno to start the season. There's also the conversation as to how much they want to move off DeMar, the whole until he gets traded thing. I still think they do, but we talked about this last week, that they didn't seem to be as motivated as people like me initially thought. So with all that being said, and I was in the camp of, hey, if you sit DeMar, it would essentially be a tryout. And, there might be certain teams out there that are questioning whether DeMar would want to. The Carmelo Anthony thing. Hey, P, they say I got to come off the bench. The idea of what it looks like for him to come off the bench. It's kind of a free sample for teams. The longer this summer has gone on, though, I just think they really like DeMar, and it ain't happening, 925. It is not happening. That's just how I feel.
DeMar's played almost 1,200 games in his career. He hasn't started in 12 of them.
You said how many games? 1,200?
He's played 1,187 games, and he has started in 1,175 of them. The last 12 all came at the same time. They were the final stretch of his rookie season. Jay Triano, head coach, by the way. But I think that we're also at the point in his career where, everybody has to do it at some point, I feel like, unless there's some guys that don't, I guess, but he's 36. I think that our guy Matt George has put out that if there were to be a Kuminga deal, that the idea is that DeMar could be moved to the bench in that scenario, which I think means that they're already playing with that idea. And I think it certainly makes sense, like that backup 4 thing that I've talked about a little bit. It's not the most ideal thing, but I think that's sort of what the roster construction currently may call for. I don't know that I'm expecting that to be the case, but I think that it's a worthy conversation to be had, because if you wanted to insert somebody like a Keon Ellis, right? You've heard coaches talk about and seen teams do where that 5th starter isn't necessarily your 5th best player. It's just the guy that is better complementary to the other 4 starters. And so I think it could make a lot of sense to bring DeMar off the bench. I think that he seems to be a guy that I think that you could at least have a conversation with him without him feeling too disrespected, I would imagine. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we'll probably have conversations about throughout the course of the year. We already were having that last year a little bit, but it never felt like something that was considered last year. And maybe there being a new regime will change that. Because again, 36, I think that we're at the point where it's probably getting close to that, making sense for it to be the way to go. Like if DeMar were to be traded at the deadline, right, to say it's some contender that makes sense to him, they might think that, hey, we just really need some help bench scoring. Like maybe whatever team is trading for him, he's going to be a bench option at this point too.
Yeah, well, that was the initial thought process. It's they know what DeMar looks like off the bench, and it's not the first time hey, DeMar, come over to the Cavs, and you're going to come off the bench for the first time. And that's what I initially thought. I just think they really like DeMar. And my thought process has always been, Chris, if DeMar is going to come off the bench for a team, it will be a team that, at the very least, is projected to have more than 35 wins.
I'll say it for you. How about this? If he's going to come off the bench, it's not going to be for the Sacramento Kings. Because that's really, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And that's how I think Brendan hit the nail on the head. Like, if Kuminga comes to Sacramento, I think it happens, honestly. I think that there is just it makes too much sense. Like, obviously, Kuminga and Keegan playing next to each other, starting next to each other, I think makes sense. There has to be some form of, I won't say agreement, but like it feels like if Kuminga comes to the Kings, there is some sort of under the table handshake agreement that like he would probably get some run. And I think the Kings really, really like Kuminga. Like I think Doug Christie would love the idea of molding Jonathan Kuminga. I think Scott Perry would say this guy would be the youngest player on our team.
Yes,
like
by a couple years.
It's as simple as that. Like this guy already has years of NBA experience. People think they already know what he is. He would be the youngest player on this team, and with all of that included. And so I think it's just a very, very valuable piece. And I think if he does end up ending it in Sacramento, I think DeRozan moving to the bench just makes a ton of sense. But with all of that said, doesn't look like Jonathan Kuminga at this exact moment is coming to Sacramento. There's no way, there's no conversation to be had. Like it's almost the Harrison Barnes, or we've had different guys in the past where they probably should be coming off the bench, but the problem is for who? Like who is the person in which you're going to replace them with? And I think right now they mentioned
Keon.
Trey Lyle. Yeah, Keon, I guess, but then it's a smaller. There's other problems that arise with it. It's not a natural fit, but yeah, I mean that it's just. It doesn't really make sense right now.
It's Manu coming off the bench for like Bruce Bowen on a way different level.
Dang.
You know,
that made me think of Mike Brown.
That's
yeah. Did
Mike
you know
Brown
Manu
always
came off the
that,
bench? Did you actually know that?
And Maxime Reynaud is also 22, but as far as their current rotation is concerned, Kuminga would be younger by a couple years. When it comes to DeMar DeRozan and coming off the bench and what he wants the end of his career to look like, though, I do think it would, me personally, I don't think he's coming off the bench because it is the best thing, obviously, for him, unless we're doing the free sample, a free preview thing. I think it's a means to an end.
Or the sixth man of the year thing, I guess.
Like if they trade for Kuminga right before or right after Baby Styles gets here. We're about to do media day, and it happens because that's around the timeline. I think DeMar is coming off the bench, but I also think DeMar is not finishing the season on this team, which I'm not sure that he's finishing the season on this team anyway. But I definitely think if he's coming off the bench, he is not finishing he is not playing a full season on the bench. It would be okay.
Unless you guys the Kings are like over expectations.
I guess,
right? I mean,
if they're cooking.
Yeah, if they're a playoff team and he's coming off the bench, I would think he would be. I would think he would be okay with it.
Because he's still playing almost 30 minutes.
And his contract's up after this season as well.
He has one more, but it's partial guaranteed.
Okay.
It's not guaranteed until sometime in January.
It's like 4 million of the 5 or 25 something is guaranteed.
Gotcha.
So you're right. If they're balling, then DeMar.
And that's what is 500, what is 540 game? That's better than what we went through the schedule last Thursday.
Yeah.
We did not think that they would be anywhere. Like, is that considered in the clear? I think that's a big question too.
10 million guaranteed next year, by the way.
I was going to
10 of the 25. Yeah. Thank you.
Which you can also buy out.
It's just a non-guarantee, or it's partial guarantee. So if they pick it up by a deadline,
so it's a team option.
Yeah, it's like
essentially like an option. Yeah,
mid-January.
What's the team's decision? Whose decision is it to?
Yeah, it's the team's decision if they're going to guarantee it or not. By January.
It's like if he's on the roster,
January 10th.
If he's on any roster, that team has to pay it.
Yeah.
So he could just get bought out of the contract.
Okay,
instead.
exactly.
Yeah, which right now, and this person threw out a bunch of different scenarios, but as it stands right now, he's not coming off of nobody's bench. And I don't think he should. I don't really think he should. I mean,
you don't think he should?
Right now? For who?
Yeah. I mean, I think the team probably makes more sense with Keon starting than DeMar.
I think DeMar coming off the bench is a very valuable asset. Like, I think, especially with how he draws fouls, if you can
a little repetitive with Malik, but
so
I'm not talking, this team's
just in general.
So Keon, Levine, Keegan,
Dennis
Schroeder,
Keon Ellis, Zach LaVine, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis.
I guess the argument is whether he would versus should. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I hear you. It makes more sense. We know the problem is the three amigos. The problem is Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, who's not starting.
Malik and DeMar both being that super scorer sixth man.
Yeah, that's why I hadn't really thought about DeMar coming off the bench because Malik's not starting.
Because if DeMar's coming off the bench, he's pulling that thing the second he steps on the floor. And
but honestly, as he should.
100%,
you know what I mean?
But that just doesn't leave runway for a Malik Monk, who is probably going to do the same.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the other side of it is, though, just like the starting lineup, if you have Dennis Schroeder, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis out there, you have three non-shooters.
I hear you.
And that's probably what they're going to do.
Lineup. And cue somebody saying, well,
Domas shot 40%.
Yeah, right.
For his free throw threes.
Hey, when he lines up the laces, it's bottoms.
When he's got that time.
And maybe there's another jump there.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Well, look, like I keep saying, you can unlock this offense just like Jonas Valanciunas could have unlocked the offense. Now, somebody's going to unlock this offense with some corner threes.
The way this goes to it might be Isaac Jones. The way this goes to another level is one of these players that like people think are completed projects that are just the best that they can be, somehow taking another step. If Domas somehow takes another step and like more volume on that 3-point shooting, if Zach LaVine just tones it down a little bit, if Malik becomes that point guard, like I think that's the super optimism.
Yeah, and they are all closer to 30 than 20, and that doesn't typically happen.
Hey, Steph did it when? 27, Steph became who he was.
Look,
Steph was getting MVP votes at 24. Let's not pretend
but he was at Davidson for a while. 916-339-1140.
Ankles.
All right, TC will keep us on track. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Some of my bros, man. Hey, Nunez, Allen, my boy Chris. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Whole lot.
Hey, so look, just vibing. So at the end of the day, bro, it's about talk, right? So that's what hard coaching decisions as far as Doug. As a coach, a real coach, a bona fide coach, you have to make decisions like that. So the whole Hall of Fame status, nothing against DeMar, but the Hall of Fame status, that's like talk, bro. At the end of the day, you have to coach. So Doug will have to make the decision to be like, DeMar, you got to come off the bench. We trying to move off DeMar anyway, right? So what would it matter with him to be like, I don't want to come off the bench, trade me.
Yeah, that's a good point, TC. I think that from everything we've heard, they have a really good relationship with DeMar, which on the flip side of what TC is saying makes me feel like the conversation would work. I'm kind of torn between should you start the season off like that, or should you just see what this looks like with Dennis Schroeder and go from there? I mean, at least if you lose a couple games, you would have more of an excuse to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you probably run the risk of losing DeMar. Mentally, emotionally, and it feels like that would be the problem.
Yeah, it's like tough to debate whether or not to have the conversation, because if he doesn't take that well, then this whole year could be approached differently by him. Keyword could. Don't really know how DeMar would react to all this. He's always been professional, and it seems like he wouldn't be that guy, but you never really know. And then the other aspect, from his standpoint, is that, like we said, only $10 million of his contract's guaranteed next year, only, quote unquote. So there is this aspect of if I get moved to the bench, now I'm labeled as a bench player, and there is kind of a different salary that probably comes with that. So does he want to make that shift to where you're viewed way differently? I do kind of think it is a little that black and white in NBA salary negotiations. Hey, you're a starter still, or now if DeMar moves to the bench, he's never coming back in a starting lineup.
No,
which is probably the point in the career that is in his career that he's at. But I'm just saying, from his perspective, that may be a reason on why. Hey, can I get one more contract before I get moved to the bench?
I thought that was this contract.
It might be, and it probably should be.
Yeah. One more segment with you. We break down any other surprises that might pop up this season for the Sacramento Kings. Also, you have one redo over the last 10 years for your Sacramento Kings. What's Chris doing? Allen Stiles, Sac Town Sports.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Mark your calendars for a stacked lineup of live shows. It all starts August 23rd with Gypsy Kings at Hard Rock Live Sacramento and Super Soul Fest featuring Jeffrey Osborne at Thunder Valley. Then get ready to laugh with Weird Al Yankovic at the Lake Tahoe Amphitheater at Caesars Republic on August 24th and comedian Taylor Tomlinson at Thunder Valley on August 29th. Flashback to the ultimate throwback with Lost 80s Rewind at Thunder Valley on August 31st. And Fight Night fans, don't miss Thunder Showdown Boxing on September 6th, also at Thunder Valley. Country star Darius Rucker takes the stage at the Lake Tahoe Amphitheater at Caesars Republic on September 13th, followed by comedian legend Eddie Griffin on September 19th, and Classic Rockers 38 Special on September 21st, both at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then it's Keith Sweat at Hard Rock Live Sacramento October 5th. And country fans, see David Nail live at Goldfield Roseville October 9th. Get your tickets now and find more info at sacktownsports.com.
Sacramento basketball is back. With off-season acquisitions and a retooled Kings roster under new head coach Doug Christie, we're proud to cheer on the Beam team for another exciting season. Don't miss opening night at Golden One Center on Friday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Utah Jazz. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and all your Sacramento Kings. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seats now.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports 1140, and the big deals are rolling in at Folsom Buick's GMC's end of summer sales event. Right now, take home the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali with $13,500 off MSRP, or lease it for just $699 a month for 24 months with $5,999 due at signing. This is your chance to drive the bold and powerful Sierra 1500 Crew Cab, built to stand out on the road. When the summer ends, so do these deals. So don't miss out. Visit FolsomBuick.com today.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Brought to you by Xfinity. Sports are unpredictable. The price of your internet shouldn't be. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for 5 years with no annual contracts. Guaranteed.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, one more segment with you. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, helping us. And let's just start with you, Chris. Oh, actually, we had a quick question here. 916 says, all of my professional sports teams suck. Which of these, the Kings, Giants, or Raiders, will provide me some hope first?
Raiders.
Well, I think chronologically, it would have to be the Raiders.
Yeah.
Because the Giants are about to be cooked.
Yeah. Raiders are going to suck this season still, but they're going to be way more fun. There's going to be way more like hope.
Geno in a dome.
I'm more thinking
Bowers,
I'm thinking
Bowers.
Bowers. Yeah, I mean Pete Carroll's running the show now.
Chip Kelly.
A lot of I saw that they're in on Trey Hendrickson. I don't know how true that is, but if they can pull that off, pretty sick D line.
Best kind of bad team. Score 35, give up 40.
Yeah. So because the Giants have just finished, well, they're not done, but they're done. So you have the Kings and the Raiders, and if I'm arguing the Kings or the Raiders, I think I would just take the Raiders. I don't feel neither one there's no parade, but I'd take the Raiders.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the way. There's more. I find it more enjoyable to have those like young talents to root for, and like you can see the future of a team a little bit more, right? And I guess the Raiders have that in place a little bit more than the Kings, but maybe ask again in 2 years. I know it's not a fun answer.
2 years.
I'm just saying the Kings are going to look so different in 2 years.
He's going to be retired in 2 years.
It's true.
What are you talking about?
2 years.
Pete Carroll's going to be 78 in 2 years.
Yeah. That's actually not a joke.
They're going to have.
Point being, you got nothing. You got no hope for 2 years at least.
Raiders are going to have Arch Manning by then.
Right.
Exactly. It's all good. All right. Another question: if the Kings could have one transaction redo from the last 10 years, what would you want them to do? This has been going around Kings Twitter. Chris, obviously, you are the eldest statesman here with your fandom. So we're going to give you the most time.
Okay.
But here are some of the options.
Okay.
Drafting Marvin Bagley over Luka.
Of course.
Forgot about that one.
The Tyrese Halliburton trade.
Oh, yeah.
The De'Aaron Fox trade. The DeMarcus Cousins trade. The Mike Brown firing. The Dave Yeager firing. The Michael Malone firing.
Oh.
Can I do something? Can I just remove Luka?
Why?
Is that better?
It's the obvious
remove Luka.
That's fair.
I was going to pick that one.
That's the thing that sucks about this game is like the Kings have the most obvious answer.
Yeah.
All right, remove Luka. So now you have, or if you think of any other ones, Chris, but Tyrese Halliburton trade, De'Aaron Fox trade, DeMarcus Cousins trade, Mike Brown firing, Dave Yeager firing, Michael Malone firing.
All right.
What are we between?
I would like to throw in Pascal Siakam non-move. The Kings not
after
pulling the
team?
Trigger. Yes.
How about the beam team? Just nothing.
Yeah. Beam team. Yeah.
Trading for Chris Duarte.
Yeah, essentially the big swing. The other thing I want to throw in there is maybe the Kings trading the 10th pick the year they drafted De'Aaron for 15 and 20. They take Justin Jackson and Harry Giles. They could have stayed at 10 and taken Donovan Mitchell on top of drafting De'Aaron Fox, which could have obviously set you up for some success long term. Or Bam. Yeah, there's a couple different options you definitely could have gone. There's
or
of
Malik.
course
Harry Giles.
Hey man,
don't disrespect. Don't disrespect.
You can disrespect Justin Jackson all day.
That
Who's
one.
the nicest man who's ever stepped on this planet. But Harry Giles, That's
Justin Jackson.
The nice thing about Justin Jackson, though, is they traded him and Randolph for, I think, Barnes.
For Harrison
That's
Barnes.
right.
Yeah, one of the best trades maybe ever, period, full stop. I would say that's up there for sure. I have not gotten over the firing of Mike Malone. I think that was just franchise malpractice. Like, that's insane.
Because
It made
team
no
at the time
sense.
was what?
It was DeMarcus. It was not the Rondo team yet.
Okay.
Rondo was the next
Darren
year.
Collison.
Yeah, Darren Collison,
Gotcha.
Rudy Gay, probably Quincy Acey,
Willie Cauley-Stein.
Ben McLemore. I don't think Willie was there yet. Like Thomas Robinson, probably. It was a really bad team.
Yeah.
It was a really, really bad team. And everyone knows the story, of course. Mike Malone unjustly fired. DeMarcus got sick for a week, and they, story goes on and on.
The hope with keeping him would be just creating a sense of stability.
Yeah, and I mean, it felt like you were actually rowing with the current for once, and you then hire George Karl, you then fire George Karl, and it just spirals from there. And it just, you could have had a coach that ended up winning the NBA championship 7 years later or whatever it was.
Right.
Man, I don't know. It's tough to not go with the De'Aaron Donovan Mitchell one. That one might be my answer. I think I might go with it's a little bit of a surprise pick. Or you could just go with like them taking, Thomas Robin or whoever, Ben McLemore over Giannis or whoever it ended up being. There were so many drafts where they, skipped over Damian Lillard, skipped over Klay Thompson, skipped over Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Right. The list goes on. And other teams can do the same thing.
Yeah. I would probably say my official answer will be trading 10 and not sticking at 10.
See, that's what
that's
lifer.
hindsight. That's hindsight 2020.
That's a King's lifer.
Whitey would tell you that the Kings definitely should have drafted Giannis Antetokounmpo. They fired Jeff Petrie. And I guess Jeff Petrie was like obsessed with Giannis and gave the current or whoever it was at the time taking over, gave them all the info on Giannis, said this guy's going to be incredible, and the new regime just essentially didn't listen. So.
Ward is throwing in on the chat. Ward is throwing in. Let's not forget Divock saying, "I had a better deal yesterday."
Yeah.
I think they could have had D'Angelo Russell for Boogie, I want to say, but that's not really as bad.
Yeah, I think it was like Julius Randle, D'Lo. It was a Laker trade too, which
Right.
people conveniently leave out.
Yeah.
You would have had to make a deal with the Lakers. I don't. Yeah.
Look, just from these that are the options. I know, Brendan, you said that when this thing went a bit viral, people were talking about Tyrese Halliburton, and you disagreed.
It's just crazy over the Luka thing.
Over the Luka
I'm just
thing.
saying, like, Luka is the clear answer. And I'm just saying, anyone that was picking Tyrese, it's crazy to me. Like,
yeah,
it's just not trading Tyrese in general is what people want.
It's just
like you should have.
I
traded
take it as
Fox
just they should have
instead.
kept Tyrese.
Okay.
Find a way to keep Tyrese.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, man, I mean, the De'Aaron thing, because that's what's the problem. Like, the De'Aaron trade to me.
Didn't even mention the De'Aaron trade.
I wouldn't even say it because I would just connect it to the Beam team nothingness, deciding to just re-sign Harrison Barnes and bring in Sasha Vezenkov.
Yeah.
Which also connects to the Mike Brown thing. Like, if
Right.
I say Mike Brown is my
Right.
answer, does that mean I'm also counting the De'Aaron trade?
You're saying Sasha, you're saying you hate Emmy and Sasha Vezenkov.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that I'm a big KZ.
Yeah.
It was really when they moved KZ Okpala out the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Another quick shout out would be in 2021. If the Kings would have lost one more game, they would have won. They wouldn't have had to do a coin flip in the 2021 draft with Chicago. Instead, they would have just straight up had the pick, and they could have taken Franz Wagner instead of Davion Mitchell. I don't think that it is actually like the one among all of these,
It is
but
one.
it's a little
It's on the list.
butterfly effect of like,
There you
hey,
go.
maybe the Beam team actually gets better.
Hey, real quick. I know we're over time, but quickly. It's fine. We're trying to figure out if the Beam team is a moment in time or if that is a new nickname for the Kings. Are the Kings the Beam team right now, or is that specific to the 2023 team?
It's both. Like, I feel like they're still referred to as the Beam team, but if you just say, like, you could call the Kings the Beam team, but if you just say the Beam team, like, it's all contextual, right?
Okay.
If you say it in the context of you're
And you
talking
like
about
that.
a team.
You like them still being called the Beam team?
I kind of honestly even thought that maybe they should retire the beam after the first year.
No,
but
no,
I
you cannot do that.
I disagree now. I disagree now. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Gotta cut the mics.
Yeah.
Chris,
I don't still feel that way.
To me, it feels like an era. I feel like eventually the beam will die, and it'll probably eventually not we want it to, but
never.
100 years from now, when whatever. I think, like Brendan said, I think we refer to the first beam team as beam team, but I do think since the Kings are the team that is involved with the beam, they can still be labeled as the beam team.
You know they lit the beam last night?
They did.
I did happen to hear about that from everyone.
Yeah, what do you know?
Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, follow them on social media. Follow Sacktown Sports on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram. We are everyone. Go to sacktownsports.com to see the great work that both of them are doing. And we will talk to you again next week, guys. All right. On the other side, Dan Favale predicts which offseason transactions will age the most poorly. And we rehash the free agent tracker. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Open Phone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Open Phone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Open Phone. Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Open Phone for free at openphone.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/try. openphone.com/TRY.
Hey, Sacramento homeowners. Imagine the coolest, most comfortable summer in 30 years, leaving air conditioning giants drowning in overstock. That's your golden ticket to massive savings right now at Sierra Pacific. We've forged powerhouse partnerships with the world's top manufacturers. They trust us for flawless installations, unbeatable service, and our massive reach across Sacramento to move their inventory fast. In return, exclusive, jaw-dropping discounts just for you. Upgrade your home with premium systems at rock-bottom prices, installed by the region's elite craftsmen, and backed by ironclad warranties and legendary support. Plus, snag huge tax credits and SMUD rebates to slash costs even further. This inventory clearing bonanza won't last. Seize it today. Call Sierra Pacific for your free in-home consultation and discover the perfect system for your ultimate comfort. Dial 916-638-0543 now, or head to SierraPacificHome.com. Don't miss out. Your cooler, cozier home awaits.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air, the guys in the big red trucks.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000.
and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated. Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority tax relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority tax relief.
Labor Day savings are on at Elk Grove Chevy with $10,500 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 5.3 liter after all rebate. And Elk Grove Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,500 off new Silverado exclusively at the Elk Grove Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidasChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Excludes work parking ZR2 not trading 2011 Chevy car truck not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal at Maida. KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sacktown Sports.
Haven't seen the guys in a while. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez.
Weren't they here last week?
I think you're right. Uh-oh, we got some text coming in. This is their fault, man. This is their fault. As far as the Beam goes, I feel like they are still referred to as the Beam team from the outside perspective, but to fans of Sacramento, but to fans of the Sacramento Kings, basically, yeah, they're just the Kings. The Beam team is the Beam team. 916 says the Beam literally transcends sports. I have tons of friends and coworkers who don't watch or know anything about the Kings and yet get excited about and look for the Beam. You can't take away the Beam. It's bringing an entire city together! Exclamation point. Hey, you are not going to hear any arguments from me, 916. I don't know why those guys said that, man. I don't know why those guys said that.
What kind of idiots would want to get rid of the Beam ever?
No, actually not. I did, Kyle, maybe you're a little vindicated here because I was at River Cats. Shout out to Tommy and his family and friends as we did the Sweet Life with Allen Stiles. It was a great time and great meeting all of them. I was just talking to our promotions team. We can't wait to do it again. Thank you to the River Cats for helping us put that on. But I was just saying, Kyle, I didn't see a Beam, but there has been a Beam. A bunch of media people, they took pictures of the Beam when the Kings won while the A's were playing. So yes. I know you can see it, but I did not see it last night.
You have to see it from the parking lot because in the stadium lights block it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, maybe what you're talking about is by the time there is a small window because I saw pictures from the ballpark with the Beam. But to your point, it's a small window. I don't know if it's the golden hour or the purple hour, whatever you want to call it. But once the lights come on, then it changes.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what time they flashed the Beam on. I think we saw it at our house at like 10 o'clock last night, but which is past my bedtime, Alan. I don't know if you know this.
10 o'clock. No, I was already gone.
Yeah, so 10 o'clock was when we saw it. I don't know if it was on earlier or not, but from the Sutter Health Park. I mean, Chris Watkins just left. He can vouch because he was at the game where the Beam was lit at the A's. And it's like, if you squint, you can like kind of see purple, but you can't make out the Beam just because the stadium lights mess it up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is too bad because poor Brendan Nunez spent like 45 minutes with a tripod waiting for that shot of the Beam during one of the A's games, and he just never got it because he can't see it.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully there are a lot of combinations this upcoming season for the Kings in both ways with the Kings and A's, and Brendan can get a better version of that picture. As we get to what Dan Favale had to say from Bleacher Report, predicting which 2025 NBA offseason moves will look worse this season. So he has, I don't believe they're really in order, but he has 5 of them. And, of course, the Kings found their way on the list. And, you know, it is funny, Kyle, because I did ask Dan about his articles when he was on the show, and he did the thing where he said, well, I like Nick Clifford, but besides that, he's all, and it's not Dan. Everybody does it because right now there just doesn't seem to be a lot of positive energy from the national perspective on the Sacramento Kings. I'm just curious, and I'm going to read it now because I'm just a bit curious what direction he wanted them to go. And because me personally, I don't mind the addition of Dennis Schroeder. I just think that it was a little bit of a hefty price and a little bit of a hefty commitment. So let's see what Dan had to write. Domantas Sabonis called for the Sacramento Kings to add a point guard this summer. They answered by signing Dennis Schroeder, who is more floor general adjacent, to a 3-year deal worth $44.4 million. The contract looks like an overpay at first glance. It still might be. Schroeder is 31, and so much of his effectiveness is predicated on quickness. He will not retain his value as well as others over time. Still, only the first 2 years of his agreement are fully guaranteed. Just $4.4 million of his salary in the final season is a lock to remain on the ledger. Nevertheless, this is faint praise. Schroeder is not an intuitive fit on a roster, still teaming with a bunch of other guards and on-ball creators. More than that, fitting his deal into the Kings' payroll structure required trading Jonas Valanciunas, one of the best backup centers in the league, for Dario Saric, who's years removed from being an every-night rotation player. To make matters even worse, Valanciunas might have been willing to forego most or all of his salary to play for Greek EuroLeague club Panathinaikos. Exploring that route would have made more sense than housing Saric and creating a miniature trade exception. Dumping Valanciunas is perhaps the worst of the Kings' move in a vacuum, but it only happened because they decided to pay Schroeder. Okay, as I was reading that, I was ready to argue it, right? I was ready to argue it from the Dennis Schroeder perspective, just from a fit on the team. They needed a point guard. They got a point guard. Did they do it in the best way? That is what Dan is arguing. But I was ready to argue his comments about Dennis Schroeder's fit and the quickness. I mean, Dennis Schroeder is not De'Aaron Fox when it comes to quick. He's a quick player, but we're not talking about, when I think Dennis Schroeder, I don't even think quickness, to be completely honest with you. He's got typical quickness for a point guard. That's what I would say. And I don't know how much that's going to change within the next 3 years. Feels like Schroeder, knock on wood, has been fairly healthy. I think that's what Frankie Cardicelli said early on when they signed him. Say what you want about Dennis Schroeder, but the guy is always on the floor. So I was ready to argue Dan, but he brought it. He landed the plane as far as the Jonas Valanciunas argument, not even keeping Jonas Valanciunas for themselves, because I still was okay. I mean, calling him one of the best backup bigs, which I think he is, fine. He's up there. Then when he got to the bottom, saying what the Kings could have done with the EuroLeague and Panathinaikos to get off of that salary versus the trade, and just randomly adding our guy Dario, right?
Unless Dario's going to be playing significant minutes.
Right, unless Dario's going to be playing significant minutes. Yeah, to me, that's where Dan got me back in the conversation, but I do disagree with some of his kind of notes on Dennis Schroeder as far as on the floor.
Yeah, I think Dan is making it's in combination in the article, right? So he says signing Dennis Schroeder and trading Jonas Valanciunas. So he is conflating the need to trade Jonas Valanciunas in order to create the space for Dennis Schroeder, which I understand. You're talking about a fringe starting point guard in exchange for a fringe starting center. Meanwhile, the Kings got Dario Saric in return. So they essentially got no better. They just essentially balanced out their roster, right, which is the point that Dan is making, which I agree with the point that if they knew he wanted to go to Greece, was it Panathinaikos, whichever team it was?
Yeah.
If he wanted to go to Greece,
two teams, them and Olympiacos.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the two powerhouses. One of them has Sasha. I can't remember which one. Or is he Turkey? Either way, point is, if they knew he wanted to go, they could have, and moved him for salary reasons, they absolutely could have just bought him out and then absorbed Dario Saric into a trade exception the same way, and they would have created more cap space. So I do think that, to Dan's point, if they had just bought, had Valanciunas give back the money, they would have had cap space to sign Dennis Schroeder, potentially make an offer sheet to Jonathan Kuminga if that's the route they wanted to go. And there are other ways they could have gone about it. They could have extended Keon Ellis with some of that money potentially. So there's a lot of different situations that could have played out differently. But I guess I agree with Dan's sentiment that, like, trading away a fringe starter center for a fringe starter point guard is not much of an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, and I would assume Dan is just more in the camp that I was in, not necessarily, and maybe Dan thought, hey, go for Trae Young. If you guys are going to do this, if you guys are going to refuse to say uncle, just go for it, right? Ja Morant, they said he wasn't available, but Trae Young kind of sort of is. So you could have gone for Trae Young and you spend that money, or you could have just gone cheaper, right? The Tyus Jones, the same conversations we've had. So everybody knows where I stand. I think they could have went cheaper, or probably should have went cheaper and younger if possible. This is kind of just right in line with what who the Kings are, right? Well, we talk about, they're an 85 overall on NBA 2K. They're a B. Maybe in this West, they're probably more like an 82 or 83, but they're good. They're not bad. And a lot of it isn't the players. The players are all, they got about 2 85s on that team with DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. Then you get Domantas Sabonis at 87, whatever he is. They're like an 85, 84, 85. That's what they are. And nobody is picking them when you go to play your buddy on 2K.
Well, they're talented. There's no question. They're just talented and old.
Yeah.
And talented, but not talented enough to make a deep run in the Western Conference playoffs.
So if you were going to go in that direction and do this, and you really like DeMar, then you know what's interesting? I know we've been having all this conversation, and I continue to say I think it's overblown. We've been having all this conversation about Malik Monk not being a point guard. In my opinion, and they pretty early on said they were not trying to have a conversation about Trae Young. I'm just firing up the trade machine here, Kyle, and I know we did it back in the summer before we knew that the Kings were out on Trae Young. Even though everyone's saying Malik Monk is not a point guard, I think Malik Monk, he'd probably be the best point guard on the Hawks. If they did not have Trae Young, he would be the best point guard on the Hawks right now. Now, I don't know if the Hawks would have wanted to do that and Trae Young making $45 million, but if you were going to refuse to say uncle, you could have cooked up some type of deal. They're paying Dennis $14, so Malik Monk, that $14 million salary that went to Dennis, you find a way to get to 45 and you go get Trae Young. They didn't like Trae Young, and it would have elongated this for sure, because Trae Young would have wanted an extension, which you didn't have to give to him. You would have got 2 years of it. So I hear where Dan is coming from, and that was a direction that could have went. Now that we know that we do have about 2 more years of this, I'm kind of rethinking the Trae Young thing, right? When I was saying no to Trae Young, that was the assumption that they were going to move on from DeMar DeRozan and, or they were going to go cheap, very cheap, because Schroeder isn't making a ton of money, but very cheap at the point guard position. I kind of am starting to lean towards the other side now that I know what they actually did. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I knew they were going to give Schroeder $44 million over the next 3 years, and this thing might go for another 2-3 years, hopefully not. We all think it's only going to be 2 years, but I would have said, screw it. And on top of that, you're trying to move Malik anyway. Well, screw it. Go get Trae Young.
Yeah. In hindsight, you could have just made that happen, which I don't know if the Hawks would have loved Malik Monk playing at point guard, but also don't sleep on my boy Kobe Buffkin. He might play.
Yeah, okay. He's young. He's young.
Might play 15 minutes a game this year for the Hawks.
I hear ya.
Yeah, he's can't shoot, can barely pass.
Not yet.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think ever. Okay. I don't think Kobe Buffkin's ever going to be able to shoot, but he is a fine point guard. I say that to say, if the Sacramento Kings had tried to trade for one of those top 15 point guards, make it Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, John Morant, Darius Garland. Yeah, pick whichever one you want. They tried to take Jamal Murray off the Nuggets' hands. Pick whichever one you want. If they had tried to go down that route, I would have felt better about doing this 3 years we're trying to win now window situation. And they would have had to trade some of their draft capital to do that. Like, at least the plus side right now is that they can click it, or they can hit eject at any point because they still have all their draft capital, and Sabonis is still worth a pretty penny on the open market.
Well, and that's what's funny too. We still have to kind of perfect timing because we still have to do Tankathon. If they do what Tankathon and what they're projected to do, and they have an opportunity and they get a top 4 overall pick, then I'll say, well, it's a good thing they didn't go all in, because what if they had to trade their 2026 draft pick to get Trae Young?
Yeah, for sure. But my kind of thought process is, if you're going to go trying to compete route, and maybe this backs up Dan's point, I'm not actually sure until I kind of think about it, but if you're going to go the all-in route, you have to have 2 all-stars, and you have to have 2 all-stars that are either a playmaking guard and a big, or a wing and a big, or a playmaking guard and a wing. Like, you've got to have them in 2 different position groups.
Right.
And right now, maybe Zach LaVine will be a all-star caliber wing, but absent that, they only have 1 guy, and you have to have 2. So that's kind of my point of, like, if you're going to go all in, it's not about adding Dennis Schroeder for Jonas Valanciunas. That's not moving the needle in any direction at all. It's about getting one of those top 50 players without trading one of those top 50 players. I mean, DeMar DeRozan's pretty close, but like, you would have had to have acquired a Trae Young, Jamal Murray, LaMelo Ball, Darius Garland type of point guard without giving up a player that good in return, which is tough. Yeah. I mean, the Spurs just did it by swindling the Kings, but that's a rare situation in the grand scheme of things.
I wish it was more. I wish it was more rare. As we get to some of the free agents here, we've talked about Precious Achiuwa, who is only 25. Okay, we've talked about Precious Achiuwa. I'm on NBA.com, and it's been so quiet. I think it is fairly updated. So I'm just going to read off some of these names, Kyle, that are still looking for homes. Obviously, Russell Westbrook, but we're going to move on from him for right now. Precious Achiuwa, Kyle?
Are you asking if I'm in or out? I'd say
give me a ding or a buzz.
I mean, he is available. According to, I got to check Wikipedia. It keeps changing every day.
Delano Banton?
Oh, I'm all in on Delano Banton.
25 years old.
Do you know the lore behind him about his game at the end of last year in Sacramento?
I've heard, yes.
Yes. So he went in a meaningless game 82 for the Blazers in 2024. Delano Banton set an NBA record by going 0 for 15 at the three-point line. The previous record was 0 for 11 in terms of most missed threes without a make. He missed 15 consecutive three-pointers and then got ejected with 2 minutes left in the game. Just the worst basketball game any player has ever played. And he's actually not that bad, but that brother should go to Europe.
I'm looking here, 32% from 3.
Imagine what it would have been if he didn't go 0 for 15 in Sacramento.
3.3 attempts in 2025, 29% from 3, 3.7 attempts in 2024. And he was on a couple different teams, so you got to crunch all of those.
I'll say this, Alan. If he becomes a King, I will buy a Delano Banton jersey. I've never bought a Sacramento Kings jersey. I will buy a Delano Banton jersey.
He's 25 and he's 6'8". Tell him where to sign, man.
I'll tell him where to sign. Olympiacos. because that dude is not an NBA player. But man, why not?
All right, who else? Some of these people I have not heard of. Amani Bates, he was both. Chris Watkins walked out, but that was his guy. I remember he was a lot of people's guys, and then it just didn't work out. But he had a crazy high school highlight reel. Amani Bates just didn't work out.
Yeah. I'm seeing. I organized it by points per game. I'm seeing Malik Beasley still available. Want to take a chance on that?
I'm gonna go with no. Here's the thing about Amani Bates: 6'8". He's 21. He's only 21. Okay, and with the structure that the Kings have out there in Stockton, you might be able to. It is a bad sign, though. It is a bad sign that he is only 21, and they kind of gave up on him in general. So there's that. We have all the restricted free agents are at the top here. We have Malcolm Brogdon. Yes, that's what's bizarre to me, right? Is it because Brogdon would be – are we sure Brogdon would be more expensive than Westbrook? Why are the Kings only interested in Westbrook and not Brogdon or any of these other names?
That's who Scott Perry wants.
Yeah.
That's Scott Perry's guy, was with the Sonics / Thunder when they drafted Russell Westbrook, or at least in the draft leading up to it. I also see Kings killer Alec Burks on here. Can I interest you in another shooting guard?
That guy's a bucket, though. He's literally a bucket.
Scored 20 points and a half against the Kings at one point very recently.
DeAnthony Melton simply waiting for the Warriors.
I see a little Jalen Hood-Schifino, your guy.
No.
You said you wanted him
this summer.
Yeah, we did the game of Ben Simmons and I gave you Ben Simmons or Hood-Schifino.
Yeah, because what is he, like 22?
He's 22 years old.
Give me Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Point guard.
Is he like 6'7"?
He is 6'5".
I'll do it. Garrison Matthews. What about Garrison Matthews? He can shoot it, right? Another shooting guard?
Literally the only thing I know about Garrison Matthews is that he hit like 6 threes at Golden One Center last year. I don't know if he just can't shoot otherwise.
Yeah,
but
him not being picked up is not good. All right. How did we go all summer with no one bringing up Bull? How did we do that?
No, we did, because remember we did the bull.
Yeah, no, I know, but it feels like we haven't talked about enough. Remember when Talen Horton-Tucker was supposed to be the Lakers savior?
Oh, yeah, that was really great.
And he is not on a team.
There's a few of those guys that the Lakers had. Like Max Christie was supposed to be that guy for a minute.
There's also no way Horton-Tucker is only 24. That brother is 33. I don't care. I don't care what it says.
You're saying Talen Horton-Tucker should not be the same age as Neat Clifford?
There's not a shot.
Wow. Let me look this up real quick here.
There is no way. Thomas Bryant, who's on 4 teams at one time.
Yeah, Talen Horton-Tucker is only 14 months older than Neat Clifford.
There's no way.
It seems impossible.
That dude he's been around the block, okay? 916-339-1140. Let's get to my Raiders. Are they trying to trade for Trey Hendrickson? And Louis Riddick trusts the Raiders more than this AFC team with a 4-horseman quarterback. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Make This the summer sales event?
Right now, save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 crew cabs. The Motor Trend 2025 Truck of the Year.
Okay, but what about those hard-to-find heavy duties?
Right now, save up to $11,000 off MSRP on the hard-to-find brand new 2025 Ram heavy duties. You won't find a better selection of new Rams in California, with over 400 new Rams available and more on the way.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$15,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorns after $83.16 factory rebates and $66.84 dealer discounts. Rebates include 10% below MSRP. $2,000 Stellantis financial bonus cash. Must finance with Stellantis. $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. $11,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 2500 Limited after $2,500 factory rebates and $8,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. At least 5 of each net savings. Not everyone will qualify for all rebates. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia. I got a tour of their headquarters. I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Bing Maloney Golf Course is 27 holes of high-flying public fun, and Bing Maloney's a classic design for golfers of all abilities. Bing Maloney's lighted driving range is a great place to learn and practice this summer under the covered hitting stations. The range also offers a practice putting green and outdoor furniture to relax with friends. Enjoy tasty beverages or comfort food from Maloney's Grill. The Association of Golf Merchandisers has named Bing Maloney a top 100 golf shop. For tee times, visit bingmaloney.com. It's Sacramento Golf's great value course.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and let me tell you about the manager-only offers they're running right now. They have low rates on new cars, certified pre-owned vehicles, and of course, their popular e-Sprinter vehicles. Take it from me. I'm driving an all-electric Mercedes-Benz SUV, and I love it. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now or go online at mbfstockton.com because these rates won't last long. And while you're there, tell them Drape sent you.
Get ready for the return of record-breaking speed. Saturday, August 23rd, the Johnny Rizzo Memorial roars into Stockton 99 Speedway for a night of legendary racing. Speed Tour Super Modified to unleash mind-blowing horsepower and more. Gates at 5, racing at 7. Tickets start at just $20 at Stockton99.com. Be there.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
30 more minutes with ya. And the Raiders might be looking to upgrade their defensive end position. Could you imagine Trey Hendrickson with Max Crosby? Look, we don't got to worry about the secondary if the quarterback can't throw the football. That helps. You don't got time to throw the football. We don't got to worry about the secondary.
What happens if they run it?
We can figure that out. We can figure that out. Just get after the quarterback. Okay, this is what Hondo Carpenter had to say, Las Vegas Raiders beat writer. Said, in a conversation with an NFL executive on Tuesday, I was informed, I have no doubt the Raiders are the front runners, talking about Trey Hendrickson. Tom Brady and Mark Davis want to win now. And John Spytek has no fear when it comes to making bold moves. The kid is 30. That move is the mentality of Pete Carroll. He's not afraid of anything that could improve the team. So they're the front runners. The Bengals are just, hey, everyone's saying that our defense needs to be better. Let's not pay Trey Hendrickson. That's what we're going to do.
Not only let's not pay Trey Hendrickson, let's actively shop him while not paying him.
Yeah, that's how we're going to approach things. And I told you earlier this week, Joe Burrow is the next Matthew Stafford. I know the weapons out there, And think about it. Matthew Stafford had Megatron, but I know he's got all those offensive weapons. Joe Burrow does, but this dude is going to play however many years in Cincinnati, and it's going to be a free Joe situation. Then he's going to win a Super Bowl with some other team. I don't know. Some other ready-made team that just needs a really good quarterback.
Yeah, the Bengals are not trying to ever let him go, but they
should actually show that.
Yeah, they just fired a defensive coordinator. They gave Zach Taylor an extension that they're kind of stuck with. Yeah, we talked yesterday about just the Bengals are an unserious organization.
They really are right now. So the Raiders are trying to be more serious than they've been in years past, and going after Trey Hendrickson is a good start. Louis Riddick. So what makes me laugh about Louis Riddick is he's never actually interviewed for the Raiders GM job, but there's kind of this if you start typing right now, Louis Riddick, Raiders job, there's this idea that he's always wanted the Raiders GM job, but I don't believe he's ever interviewed for it. And, he's never actually been considered, but, he'll be on whatever show on ESPN and somebody will always say, this guy could be a GM. And he always says really good stuff about the Raiders, which is why I like Louis Riddick. So here he is right now, still continuing the Bengals-Raiders comparison, talking about the Raiders and their chances of making the playoffs.
I trust the Raiders right now to find a way to sneak into the playoffs before I would trust the Bengals. Think about the Patriots. Think about the Patriots and what they have done, and not just the people that they brought into the organization in the locker room, the people on the coaching staff. They have an all-star coaching staff that will get that team to play far above and beyond what our expectations are right now. Look, Cincy, it isn't just a defensive issue with Cincy. You know this, too, since Joe's been there, right? Since Joe's been there, they've been in the bottom quarter in the league in pass block win rate every single year, and people go, well, he's been able to manage it. Look at the season he had last year. You're playing with fire with the way in which this guy has to be perfect every single week when he has turnstiles for an offensive line. And while everyone else in the AFC is gaining ground, his team is losing ground. He's keeping his. He kept his dudes. But as far as the supporting cast is concerned, every other football team's getting better. They just are. The West has gotten better. The East has gotten better. The AFC North, hey, let's just see what happens here with Pittsburgh, okay? Defensively they're going to be better. And if Aaron is on it, like RC and Jalen Ramsey and people are saying how he's looked in training camp, hey, man, and we know Baltimore. We know what Baltimore brings. I really think this football team could be in trouble again. And you're right. Look, Trey Hendrickson does not make them a Super Bowl contender, does not make them a playoff contender by himself alone. There are far more foundational issues with this football team.
Whenever you want to feel good about the Raiders, fire up some Louis Riddick.
I mean, if he hasn't interviewed for the job by now, they've already hired like 4 times in the last 6 years.
Hey, he's sticking to it. And I appreciate him for sticking to it.
They've also hired a general manager from television recently.
Yeah.
Lou, shoot your shot, man.
Yeah.
It's not the most aspirational goal in the world to say I want to be the Raiders general manager.
No, yes, it is.
We all of us have to be the Raiders general manager at some point. We all have to take a rotation.
So that's Louis Riddick. He was talking about just other AFC teams and why he does not trust the Bengals. And I don't know why anybody would trust the Bengals right now outside of the fact that, of course, they have Joe Burrow and they have Jamar Chase and they have T. Higgins and they have a great offense. It could be a historic offense, but that's where it ends. That's where it ends, and it ends quickly for the Bengals. But as far as the Raiders are concerned, I mean, whether they get Trey Hendrickson or not, look, man, it was rough watching Brock Purdy kind of dice up the defense. Obviously, the Raiders kind of looked better once Brock Purdy got out the game, but Brock Purdy didn't have Brandon Ayuk, right? He had Ricky Pearsall, but he's got Ricky Pearsall and the dudes, right? And some dudes. And, no George Kittle, or there wasn't a lot of action with George Kittle. It's always the secondary with the Raiders. But if you want me to believe and if you want me to have that hope, I have a glimmer. I think everybody has a glimmer of hope. I think it always is going to come down to the wild card. The problem is, can you hold off the other teams in your own division?
Yeah.
Right? Or, as some people have said, is this the year, which was funny because kind of felt like it was last year and they still went to the Super Bowl. But is this the year? I saw somebody say it. Somebody says it every year. Is this the year that the Chiefs don't? It actually might be bad, right? Because if the Chiefs don't win the West, if the Chiefs don't win the AFC West, unless you think that's going to be the Raiders, which I don't, right?
That's the last team I would pick.
Right. I got to see more of the Chargers, bro. I got to see, and I haven't seen any of the Raiders with Geno, but I'm a Raider fan.
The Chargers,
I would say the Broncos.
In fairness, the Chargers have lost like 3 offensive linemen, and Slater already tore his knee, so it could be tough this year for the Chargers. But
the problem is, if the Chiefs don't win, you almost want them to, unless you truly believe that the Raiders could win it. Because if the Chiefs don't win the AFC West, you know they're taking a wild card spot. So that's kind of my problem. Unless you think the Raiders are going to win the AFC West, you kind of want the Chiefs to just go ahead, slot you in so we can just battle with the rest of, the normal AFC wild card. If you got the Chiefs just there now there's 2 spots that are essentially locked up.
Yeah, and this is kind of the thing about the tough part of existing if you're the Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers. Because, like, when Tom Brady and the Patriots were running the league, they won the AFC East, like, 16 out of 17 years. And I guess it was more 15 out of 17. But still, you had almost 2 decades where the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, and Miami Dolphins just had no shot at hosting a home playoff game. And now that kind of same situation is going on in the AFC West, where Kansas City's won the division 9 years in a row now. And as long as they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, most people are going to check them in as winners of the AFC West. So if you're the Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders, you're all fighting for small real estate. And I don't remember if this is still true, but it was at one point, like in the first 6 years of Mahomes, it was like, the Chargers finished last place twice, the Raiders finished last place twice, and the Broncos finished last place twice. So it's like they're all just rotating 2 through 4, tripping over each other until they can finally figure out how to catch Kansas City.
One more segment with you, and something has gone very viral. It's about these football players that don't want to let go of the dream. Okay, these brothers are under 40 years old. It's a 40 and under league, and it's taken the internet by storm. These clips are insane. I'm telling you, some guy at 65 just tore his ACL. I don't know what these guys are doing, but hey, they are living the dream. So we'll have some fun with that. And the Chiefs trade Sky with 2 Ys more to the 49ers. And some writers out there are doing the thing that you simply cannot do in this situation with Sky Moore. Allen Stiles, Sackdown Sports.
The Drive Guys.
But I know you guys missed me, so I was like, I'm coming in.
We're starting to get used to it. I'm not having you, actually.
I mean, I actually felt bad for Jay too. I'm like, damn, Jay, you got to work with this dude for 4 hours. And I'm like, let me come help Jay. No, I'm messing with you. You know what though? I missed you the other night.
You can listen to The Drive Guys Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1140 a.m. YouTube and the Sackdown Sports app. Stockton Honda cranks up the savings with amazing deals during the Honda Summer Event happening now. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, you'll find unbeatable selection, serious savings, and top dollar for your trade. From quick crosstown drives to full-blown road trips. Wherever you're headed, Stockton Honda is ready to help you get there in style. Start your summer adventures at Stockton Honda or StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting their focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare shift works, and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time now for your Sacktown Sports 49ers report, brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, conveniently located beside the Vacaville outlets. Jake Moody hit a walk-off game-winning 59-yard field goal on Saturday as the 49ers beat Las Vegas 22-19. Moody had 5 field goals on the afternoon. Brock Purdy played, and he was 5 of 7 for 66 yards in the opening series. 49ers play their final preseason game this Saturday. Listen right here at 5:30 p.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metal woods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
This 49ers Red Zone report is being brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Touchdown, 49ers. Good snap and set, and Moody's kick is up and good. So from 44 yards out, Jake Moody ties the game with 37 seconds left. Snap, set, kick on the way. Line drive, it is good! Jake Moody from 59 yards out, and the Niners win in the preseason over the Raiders.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners! Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Sacramento Rivercats baseball has it all at Sutter Health Park. Enjoy exciting baseball, kids activities, tasty ballpark treats, and more. Family memories start here. Get your Rivercats baseball tickets at rivercats.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Oh, what do you know? The Giants are playing. No score. Well, obviously the Giants would have scored. The Padres haven't scored yet. That's how I'll say it. Padres haven't scored yet.
Good job, Verlander.
And the Giants didn't score in the first inning, so they're not going to score. Okay? Oh.
Well, might have spoke too soon, buddy. This could be an inside the park home run.
Just go. Just go. So, miscommunication between Jackson Merrill and Tatis.
I think that was Laureano, but yeah.
Laureano, former A.
Oh, they called that a triple? That's crazy.
And nobody touched it. And Luis Matos is on third in the top of the third with a triple. All right, a little bit of Giants news here. And Grant McCray is coming back home to Sacramento. Kai Wei Tang is also coming back home to Sacramento. Luis Matos just got called up. And
just hit a triple that wasn't a triple.
Yeah, hey, it's a triple in the books. And you have Joel Peguero, who throws absolute cheddar, by the way. He is going back to the big leagues. And Eric Miller transferred from the 60-day injured list. We have some...
See, how funny is that, Alan? You said the Giants aren't going to score, and literally 30 seconds later, they scored.
I am a human jinx, but I have to use it for good.
Okay? Yeah, you've learned now, right? You jinx the Kings, you jinx the Jacob Wilson, you jinx the Giants, so now you're using your jinxes for good.
That's right. So Giants are up 1-0 now. Okay, Giants are up 1-0, and we wanted to read this on Sky Moore. All right. John Lynch was on the Niners flagship, and he was asked if it was intended to send a message to Juwan Jennings. And I want to give a shout out to the Niners flagship for asking a question like that. Obviously, John Lynch is going to say the right things, but good on KMBR for asking a question like this. And he says, no mention, Lynch clarified. No message, Lynch clarified. We like the player, Sky. We love Juwan. We're getting close to the season. Players got to practice, but if they're not healthy enough to do it, they can't. So that's kind of where we're at with Juwan right now. We're getting there where we got to get out there on that field. We'll continue to let that thing unfold. So that's John Lynch on whether or not signing Sky Moore was supposed to be a message to Juwan Jennings. And obviously he's not going to say, yeah, it was. Get your lazy self out here. Obviously he's not going to say that, but good on them for asking that question. And now it's been a couple hours, Kyle, or it's been about 12 hours or, closer to 24 hours since Sky Moore has been signed. The Niners fans are having a lot of fun with the hype, with some of the media members trying to hype up Sky Moore. And it's also gotten to Chiefs fans because Chiefs fans are just saying, is that what we're doing? If you don't know what we're talking about and you are a basketball fan, think Lakers, right? Think Lakers when they get a player that hasn't worked out. Think Lakers when they got Alex Len. That's pretty much what this is. Oh my goodness, the league is in trouble. It's not as bad as when the Lakers got Alex Len, because that was bad. But this is a localized version of that, with the Niners saying, man, or Niners media saying, man, what's Kyle Shanahan going to be able to do with Sky Moore?
Yeah, it's so for those who weren't here earlier, may not remember, Sky Moore was drafted right after Tyreek Hill got traded. And he was supposed to be like the go-to guy that first year in Kansas City. And that season, Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Jerick McKinnon, Justin Watson, Noah Gray, and Mecole Hardman all had more yards than Sky Moore. Sky Moore was so bad that in the middle of the season, Kansas City traded for Kadarius Toney, for my money, the worst wide receiver that's ever played in the NFL. And
that's crazy, but continue.
And he returned a punt 55 yards and scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, all of which was supposed to be Sky Moore, right? They decided Sky Moore couldn't return punts and couldn't catch, and so they got Kadarius Toney and won a Super Bowl. And Sky Moore also had a touchdown in that Super Bowl, but still, They decided Sky Moore was so bad that they had to go get Kadarius Toney, and he's just never worked out. So this is a 5th receiver on a Niners team that has just lost 5 receivers to injury.
Yeah, and look, he might work out, but doing the thing, hey, well, you get him in Shanahan's offense. This brother was with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Okay, so let's pump the brakes a little bit. He was in a good position, is what I'm saying. And yeah, I kind of dislike Sky Moore because he's cooked me multiple times on my prop talk. That's also part of it.
Which, by the way, Sky Moore's not really even going to play that much for the 49ers.
No.
Like, if Jawan Jennings is healthy week 1, Sky Moore's probably a practice squad player.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at it here, Russell Gage might be out now, sure, but you got Cowing, who's supposed to be back by week 1. Isaiah Hodgins, we'll see if he stays healthy. Obviously, Pearsall, Jawan Jennings. I just think Sky Moore's going to be a 5th receiver only if Jawan Jennings is unable to go.
Yeah. So those are some of the updates. Also, Russell Gage injured for the San Francisco 49ers, another skill position injury. Wide receiver Russell Gage, who is being counted on to help replace other injured receivers, is believed to have suffered a sprained MCL that is expected to sideline him 7 to 10 days per sources. Well, what better way to kind of to tie a bow on the show, Kyle, than to, I guess, figure out that the static stretching hasn't been helping the Niners. I think we can close Stretchgate for now because they've been doing static stretches and guys are still dropping like flies.
I can't remember what player just went out for season for the 49ers. I want to say
it was Taylor.
Yeah, Patrick Taylor went out for season. I saw one of the people on Niners Twitter quote tweet it. Was like, this wouldn't have happened if there hadn't been more static stretching.
Yeah.
Which, like, sure, the stretching might have made a difference, but, like, all these dudes are just dropping like flies for the 49ers. Even
terrible.
Russell Gage was supposed to be the replacement for the injury, and now he's hurt too.
Yeah, I'm just double checking if there's any others. Oh, and we didn't even mention since Stretchgate, Corey Kiner happening as well. And it says, yeah, these guys are all going to be done for a while, man. So look, we were trying to figure out, and obviously we're not laughing at injuries, but you know, people are they don't know what else to say. They don't know what else to say when it comes to the Niners and the injuries, so they're trying to figure it out. Okay, it's the moment of truth now. I'm not going to say anything when the show ends, but I'm going to be listening because all I got to say is it was Carmichael Dave. That's all I got to say. Thank you to Brendan Nunez. Thank you to Chris Watkins. Thank you to Kyle. As always, we will talk to you tomorrow. It'll be a Feeling Good Friday. And until then, secure the bag like the beam.
Don't forget my podcast. Gotta go.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to